What up, Zach? Just waiting for my buddy to join. What's happening, Captain? Yeah, Zach, this is a podcast I started. Hey, Chris.
Mike, my
Hey,
friend.
Chris, what's happening with you, brother?
Oh, sitting there watching a little Red Dawn, man, the new
I'm
version.
talking to my friend Zach here, who's commenting, letting him know
Oh,
Zach. This is my co
Zach
Zach.
subscribed
This
to
is
our.
my co-host, Chris.
Nice to meet you, Zach. Has he subscribed yet?
No, I'm gonna pin it at the bottom again.
Yeah, pin it at the bottom 'cause I think we jumped up a whole bunch right now. Last I seen, we've got 9 subscribers so far. Hey Wayne, have you subscribed to our podcast yet? Please do. Mike's fixing to pin it for you. Um, I think we're up to around 9 subscribers now. We've still got about 90 to go.
Yeah, that thing that's pinned at the bottom, fellas, that's the name of the YouTube channel.
Please go subscribe to it. Help us out so we can continue to
Zach,
build
the
this and make a
subject
lot of
of the
success.
podcast is pretty much anything, but me and Chris have other things on our YouTube page. We're both obsessed with the JFK assassination. I believe there's no conspiracy. He believes there is a conspiracy, and
Not only do I believe there's conspiracy, I also believe Oswald was framed and 100%
yeah,
innocent.
but we debate on that, and it's pretty cool stuff. Mike, what's up, brother? Anyway, it's somebody's birthday today. Somebody, a bad motherfucker.
My favorite of all
There's
time.
there's one bad motherfucker that got a birthday today. Yeah,
My favorite of all time.
been in
Big
the ring with the
George
baddest,
took down the baddest,
the
except
baddest.
for Ali. But my favorite all time
Happy
boxer, of
birthday, George
course.
Foreman.
Happy birthday, George Foreman. I miss you in the ring. I miss your analogy actually during
Yeah,
boxing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
George Foreman, if you would please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Oh, it would be an honor to have George Foreman, as much homage as I pay to Big George all the time. Again, my favorite all-time boxer. Um, I loved old George better than young George. I mean,
Uh, I
I
think I
think
like
he was,
him.
I think he was in better shape. I think he was in better shape as old fat Foreman. When you was in the ring with a 45-year-old man and he didn't sit down in between rounds, that had to be psychologically,
Dude, I might
getting
have
in
to
the other
agree with
guy's
you. I
head.
might like the old George, the older George better.
Yeah. And, that had to get in people's heads psychologically. there you are 22, 23 years old, and you're sitting down, and you've got a 45-year-old man that's just standing up staring at you, waiting for that next round to start.
Yeah. Not only that, if he puts that fucking canned ham of a fist on you, which is connected to a telephone pole, you have a real problem.
And all it needed was one punch.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Foreman was not some guy, you had to wear you down and get one. You could have taken no licks from him all night, and then just one blow opened up, and it was over. It was lights out. You wasn't moving. You wasn't getting up.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I think I've seen Joe Cortez go over there and just take the mouthpiece out of fighters' mouth before, as soon as they hit the ground.
Yeah. He was a bad dude.
A lot of Michael Moore, I think I've said this before, although I think they was going to the 10th round, and they was put some Vaseline on George's face. You're behind, baby. You got to take this guy down. And the announcer who said, I believe the punching preacher would say amen to that.
Yeah. For sure.
And Michael Moore was undefeated in that
he's a great fighter. A lot of critics say he lacked heart though.
But he had a weak chin. That's where Foreman caught him on.
And when the going got tough, he never tended to grind it out.
But he made a mistake that night. I mean, he was so far ahead on the cards. All he had to do was stay away from Foreman those last 3 rounds.
Yeah, I know. But he played right into Foreman's bag of tricks.
And Foreman actually said that at the end of the fight when they was interviewing him and giving him his analogy. He said he thought he could stand toe to toe with me for 12 rounds, and he said nobody could do that.
Right on. Dude, he's like he's 64. He's 64. Huh?
Yeah.
He's 10 years younger than Ali.
I believe he could still go around.
Be impressive. I'm sure he's keeping himself in shape.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he still trains, and
Have you ever seen footage of when he fought Ali in Zaire?
Oh yeah, I watched that fight.
No, not the fight. Not the fight. When it shows Foreman training, hitting the heavy bag with his trainer holding the bag.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Watch it. He's practically launching his trainer in the air. He's hitting the bag so heavy.
And you got to think that was for, Foreman put on 30 pounds of weight. Imagine how much power he had.
Another spectacular thing to watch is Mike Tyson hit a heavy bag. It's something else, man.
And so I'm still of the opinion that, old George would have had a chance if he could have survived that initial onslaught, because, Foreman would just throw those arms up and Tyson would be hitting arms. And,
yeah, but Tyson,
Foreman push away.
Break your fucking arms.
Those would be some big arms to break.
That's what they used to say about Foreman and Rocky Marciano. Even if you blocked it with your arms, he'd fucking break your arms with his punches.
I mean, he was the man. You know what I really would have loved to have seen? And I can't remember if they couldn't come to terms on money on it, but it was after both of them had retired, and they was going to do that fight between him and Larry Holmes, and I think both of them was in their 50s then. I would have loved to have seen that.
They probably wouldn't have sanctioned it.
They was going to sanction it, but I don't think they could. Something fell through on them.
They could have went to an Indian reservation.
Yeah, you can't tell me somebody wouldn't sanction that.
I mean, the first Ali Frazier fight, Ali's first comeback fight, nobody wanted to let him fight anywhere, so they were going to have Ali fight Jerry Quarry in an airplane.
In an airplane?
His comeback fight after the 3-year suspension.
Oh my God! You talking about like two tigers in a cage?
Imagine that. Well, they were going to have a ring in there and everything, but
Oh God, that would have been that'd have been interesting to watch. Did you ever see the fight? And it was that was coming back, and Cooney really wasn't that old, but I think it was in like '87 or
Does
'88, and George fought.
does George Coon does he have the longest arms you ever
Like
seen in your life?
what now? Oh,
Yeah,
Cooney. Oh my God. I mean, it looked like his arms was
like
7 foot
Kevin
long.
McHale.
Yeah. And Foreman's knockout blow. I think he knocked him out in the second round.
I'd have to go back and check.
When Foreman first, when Foreman first made the comeback, a lot of people thought it was a
I
joke,
didn't.
and they
I
really
didn't.
wasn't giving him. I didn't either, but a lot of people wasn't really giving him, big shots,
Because
and all of a
he
sudden
was
Foreman was
acting
knocking these
different.
people.
Like in his younger days, he wouldn't even talk. He was a fierce, intimidating guy. But when he came back, he was like happy, forming.
Yeah, after he found religious awakening, he was a very different
Yeah.
guy.
Um, but yeah, happy birthday, George, for sure.
Happy birthday, George, my all-time favorite.
Hopefully you get many more, my
Uh,
friend.
yeah, and it's amazing, as many um. Hey Nelson, how you doing, buddy? If you got a chance to subscribe to our channel yet, we got it pinned down there. Please subscribe. We're trying to get all the subscribers we can to our YouTube channel and our podcast. We're getting it built up nightly. I think we got about 90 more subscribers to go, and um, things working well. What was I saying? I was talking about. Just said something about George.
Oh, I just said happy birthday, champ.
Oh, happy birthday, champ! Yeah, and it's amazing. The blows that Foreman took. He shows no neurological
Tyson doesn't either.
damage. No, Tyson doesn't either.
Ray Leonard,
Of course,
Ray Leonard,
Tyson didn't take a lot of the.
you got to pay real close attention. You can hear it in Ray Leonard a little bit.
Yeah, but you got to remember something too. Tyson, a lot of Tyson's fights, you know, Tyson wasn't taking a lot of the blows that some of these guys were. I
Oh,
mean, they
I
were
know.
over
But
in
for a
40
heavyweight,
seconds.
he still got all his faculties.
Yeah, for heavyweight he does. Yeah,
I mean, obviously,
I
Ali's the
mean,
saddest case.
yeah. But I'll.
He'll be right back. His phone sucks.
Yeah, but Ali took a lot of brutal fights, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in some brutal beatings. And
Fearless.
yeah, I mean, from the beginning, I mean, it was just. I think after the Foreman fight, I think he pissed blood for a week.
Yeah. Well, when you
And I, if I'm not
when you got
mistaken,
George Foreman digging to the body, you're gonna piss blood.
I think they told him after that, his trainers told him that, said, that's it.
No,
You're done. You
that was
don't.
a Thriller Manila Frazier.
Okay, I got it backwards then, but I remember they told him, they said, you're done. You've proved you don't have nothing else to prove. You don't need to get back in the ring.
What
You're just gonna get yourself hurt.
I don't know, but besides boxing, man, I was thinking, uh, what's your favorite movie of all time, Chris?
Time?
Huh?
My favorite movie of all time?
Don't you dare say it.
You already know what
Don't
it
you
is.
fucking say it. I will reach through this phone. Which is it really?
Jay? Probably, I guess my favorite movie of all time, I mean, really was and I don't know if you like Westerns or not, but
I do.
my favorite movie, did you ever see the John Wayne movie, The Cowboys?
No, haven't.
Oh, dude, you've got to watch that. So basically, here's the gist of the movie. John Wayne's this aging cattleman, and he's getting ready to take his yearly herd across and sell it. And Bruce Stern, who always plays the bad guy, anyway, before I get to that, all of John Wayne's ranch hands quit to go search for gold up there. They'd found some gold and gold dust, and they was searching for it, so they quit. And they was like, "Well, give us 2 weeks, and if we can't find anything, we'll be down here. You got our word." And John Wayne says, "I have your word," and he goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Well, here's my word. Get the hell off my spread." So, so he's hanging out with one of his friends, and trying to find out what he's gonna do. And the guy goes, he said, "Well, why don't you put off your bills to next year?" He goes, "Everybody around here do it." And John Wayne's like, "I don't do it. That's not how man does everything." And so they're on their horses, they're walking by a school, and he goes, "Have you ever thought about using boys?" And John Wayne said, "Well, hell, how about my mother in Siler City? She's only 92 years old." And the guy goes, "How old was you when you went on your first drive?" And John Wayne says, "Well, in my day." And he goes, "Well, how old was you?" He goes, "Well, I was 12." He said, "But my old man's pants were big enough to fit me." So anyway, he hires these boys to go on the cattle ranch. Well, Bruce Stern shows up with these guys trying to get hired, and uh, John Wayne asked him, "Who all you work for?" They said, "We've worked for all these guys." He goes, He said, "Just name them. Just name one. We'll tell you." And John Wayne said, "No, you name them." So they started naming them off, and they named off this one guy. And John Wayne said, "When did you work for him?" And he said, "Last 5 years." He said, "If we wasn't the damnedest fools," he said, "we'd be back with him right now, the sweetest old man out there." And John Wayne said, "Yeah, and if you was, you'd be in a pine box." And the guy said, "Sir," he goes, "I was pallbearer at his funeral 5 years ago." And John Wayne's like, "I'm not going to need you." And he goes, "You're not going to be like everybody else and hold jail against you, are you?" And John Wayne says, "I don't hold jail against you." He said, "Hey, Lacey, hope you're watching. Please subscribe to our channel here." But John Wayne says, "I don't hold jail against you, but I can't stand a liar." And so anyway, so the whole movie they're driving the cattle across the down there to sell it. Well, Bruce Stern and his posse, their deal is to go in and they get ready to take the herd back to steal the herd from them. So it's just John Wayne, those boys, and John Wayne tells the boys to act like those boys, not get involved. So Bruce Stern comes in and acts tough and everything, and tells John Wayne throw his gun down and all this right here, and then tells him to pick it up, and John Wayne refuses to pick it up, and or the guy's like stubborn pride. Well, anyway, to kind of cut it short, Bruce Stern starts messing with John Wayne, or starts messing with one of these boys, and takes his glasses up. And this was the one that got you fired up. Takes his boy's glasses and wads them up and hands them back to you. And John Wayne said, "All right." And Bruce Stern looks at him and goes, "We've seen how you are with a boy. How are you when they come a little bigger?" And Bruce Stern goes, "You mean you?" And John Wayne said, "You having any of it?" And he goes, "Well, you're a pretty old man." John Wayne said, "Yeah, I'm 30 years older than you are. I've had my back broke once and my hip twice, and on my worst day, I would beat the hell out of you." Bruce Stern goes, "I don't think so." And John Wayne said, "You will." And then after the fight, Bruce Stern ends up killing him. And
I gotta check that
that
one
was
out.
my
I gotta
greatest.
check that one out.
Yeah, just Google or YouTube the fight scene when John Wayne walks up to him and says, "You having any of it?" And says, "You're a pretty old man." He goes, "Yeah, I'm 30 years older than you are. I've had my back broke once, my hip twice, and on my worst day, I would beat the hell out of
I'll
you."
check it out. This will sound weird.
Probably
My favorite movie of all time. This is gonna sound weird, but Jaws.
really? They can
Yep.
stop. Yeah, not a bad movie. Did you ever see the movie Big Jake?
No. What's your favorite war movie?
Saving Private Ryan.
Full Metal Jacket.
I wouldn't argue Full Metal Jacket was probably my favorite one, but I think that
Or
Saving Private
Platoon or
Ryan.
Apocalypse Now.
But I think Saving Private Ryan, especially with what
Excellent.
happened on the D-Day thing, was the closest thing.
Excellent.
They said that, hey, Doug, how are you doing? Hey, do me a favor, man. Subscribe to man Mike's YouTube channel. We got it posted on the back. We're trying to get a bunch of subscribers. We're getting close.
How about mafia
But the
movies?
um, Goodfellas,
Favorite?
yeah, by far.
Yeah,
But anyway, I want to say something. We'll go back to the mob movies. The Saving Private Ryan. They said that when they debuted that, there was still a lot of bets left,
yeah.
and that when they had that beach, that it was so realistic that those guys got up and walked out.
Wow,
That
wow.
was the closest thing to D-Day that they could. But yeah, Goodfellas was awesome, man. I
Yeah,
mean, and you was the one explaining what a made man was, and you
yeah.
know,
I might give it to Goodfellas too. Yeah, I love Godfather.
yeah, Godfather was
Part two
okay.
is even better.
Yeah, I like the other one. Yeah, that one better. I thought just the characters in Goodfellas, though. I mean,
Bronx Tale. Have you ever seen a Bronx Tale?
mm-mm.
Oh, that's great. When Robert De Niro's the cab driver. I mean the bus driver.
Yeah,
Excellent movie, man. But you know what?
but the way
I think The Sopranos.
what
The Sopranos. I love The Sopranos.
my dad, that was his show, man. Because my dad, he was like, he got into the mafia stuff, man. My dad used to say how he wanted to be a member of the mob. I was like, well, I don't think they're gonna have a Southerner.
Well, The Sopranos is the reason why they don't have any more mob movies because they basically covered every fucking thing in that show.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, uh, Scarface, although it isn't an Italian mafia, it's still one of my favorite of all time.
Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, that's a great movie, man. It's a great movie.
Yeah, but a lot of that stuff too was when the mob still had so much power. I mean, after the crime families got taken down,
Yeah.
I guess it all started with when I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, but when they finally got my man Gotti, because I know he was a ruthless killer, but Gotti was a man's man.
Sure was.
You know,
So he was
never
such
said
he was so old
never said a
school.
word.
He was so old school.
Never said a word.
Nope.
Died in his cage.
Cancer.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Was his
Jaws, that's my favorite.
was Gotti a smoker? Because he died of throat cancer.
Shit, man. You know what? I don't know. I've never seen him smoke.
That's what I did too. I never seen Gotti smoke, but he died of throat cancer.
Yeah, I know he did, but I don't know.
So I didn't know. I was surprised they ever got a conviction off the Teflon Don.
Yeah, it took a couple tries.
I think it was four juries.
uh yeah, four juries, and then there was a couple, other cases before all those that he beat.
The last trial they had him. They took all the jury and had him behind. Had him
Yeah.
behind like a curtain where nobody could see them, and they was being led in and out where nobody could see who they were, see their
Now just
faces.
imagine that. He-
The fear they had to be through those people.
because Gotti will get to a juror.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just yeah. They would have got to the juror.
Did you like the movie Jaws?
Yeah, I've liked it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I did like it. I thought as the movies got
Yeah.
more
Oh,
progressed, they
I
got
know. I'm talking about the first one.
yeah. The first one was awesome, but when they got to the last one about
Oh,
this shark following to Florida, and it's just like,
garbage.
okay, come on, this is garbage. I mean,
What
it's
about
kind of like
what do you think the best scary movie of all time? I'm going Exorcist.
Um, like scary all the way through,
Horror movies, man.
or just or one part. Um, see, with horror movies with me, I kind of have, stuff like Exorcist and stuff like that. Horror movies with me, I like stuff that's like could be realistic, like Scream or something like that.
So the first Halloween is great.
First Halloween was great. Like, say, the Friday the 13th movies, those were just stupid to me. I
I used
mean,
to love them as a kid. I used to love them as a kid.
yeah, I mean, I did too, but after I got out of, the Nightmare on Elm Street,
Texas Chainsaw
the
Massacre.
scariest I ever, that was pretty
That's a
scary.
good one.
But the scariest I ever was that made my heart jump. I was in Afghanistan, and we was in these. We built our own little, our tot. What the God, I can't remember what they called them. But these would our little makeshift buildings that we'd live in. So we would take when we was engineers, we'd make our own little rooms, have a little door open up, curtain hanging out. It was watching it. So we had these little private DVD players. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and it's pitch black, and I'm watching The Sixth Sense,
Oh,
and I've got my headphones in. Well, right when it gets to the end of the movie and Bruce Willis realizes that he's dead, talking about coming up out of the chair.
yeah, yeah. It's a great, yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah. I love,
yeah,
I
it
love
was.
all Clint Eastwood's movies.
Oh yeah, I love Clint Eastwood
High
movies.
Plains.
Oh, the other one I want to tell you about, John Wayne. I don't know. Did you ever see Big Jake?
No.
So there was a great line in that one too. So anyway, Big Jake was this rough guy. You got to see the opening scene. Um, he rides down and like they're fixing to hang this guy, and John Wayne's like, um, what you gonna? They kick this boy, and he goes, well, you gonna hang him too, or just beat on him, up on him some more? And the guy who's hanging him goes, Mister, he goes, you really shouldn't butt into other people's business. You really shouldn't all. And John Wayne said, you're right, friend. He said, you shouldn't. He said, sheep herder, you want to sell those sheep? And he said, yeah. He goes, well, I tell you what, I'll give you $100 a day and $200 when you get them to market. And that guy said, well, that's highway robbery. And he goes, well, you think you'll get a better offer today? And he goes, I'll take it. I'm one for Vivo. He goes, I'll go with the sheep. He goes, fine. He said, you're working for me. And he takes out a knife. The guy goes, you go right ahead. You go right ahead, mister, and try to cut that rope. If there's anything I enjoy more than one hanging, it's two. And John Wayne, no, you got me scared. And he throws this knife and goes right by his throat. And he goes, you cut it down. And this guy tries to draw his gun. And he goes, dog. And this dog goes up and takes the guy down. And then he calls the dog off. And this guy goes, just who in the hell do you think you are? And he said, Jacob McCandles. And he goes, oh, my apologies. I thought you was dead, Mr. McCandles. He said, not hardly. And so, and then at the end of the movie, he's trying to get his grandson back because they've kidnapped him. They walked in there and they brought the grandson off, and he seen them, and he had his like his son as a sniper up there in his gunman place, and looks around and goes, "I just saw something in your eyes I didn't like. I saw a foolish thought. You understand me? Anything happens, anything at all, your fault, my fault, nobody's fault. My little brother will blow that kid's head right off." Shotgun. He said, "You already know about the rifle on him." He said, a rifle might not be as messy as a shotgun at 3 feet, but that little boy would be just as dead. You understand? John Wayne just kind of shook his head. He goes, say it. And John Wayne said, I understand. So had like supposed $1 million in a box that was for the ransom. So John Wayne threw the key over there. Guy gets the key, walks over there, opens the box up, opens it up, and it's nothing but cut up paper. And he looks at John Wayne, and John Wayne's got a double barrel shotgun standing right between his eyes. And he goes, now you understand. Anything happens, anything at all, your fault, my fault, nobody's fault. I'm going to blow your head off. No matter who else dies, I'm going to blow your head off. And then they have a great gunfight
You
scene
ever see
there.
the movie Gotti?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude, there's a great scene when someone accidentally rear ends Gotti's car, and Gotti gets out and he goes, "What the fuck?" And the guy gets really wise with Gotti, and Gotti was like, "Hey, buddy, relax, please." And the guy don't relax, and the Gotti goes, "Listen, pal, I'll rain a shit storm on you and your fucking family like you've never fucking seen." Just the way he said it is incredible.
Wonder if the guy got whacked.
I don't think so.
Didn't you tell me that somebody had killed Gotti's son in an accident? It
Yeah.
was a total accident and got him.
Yeah, someone hit him with a car. That guy got whacked.
A 38 up close.
Something like that.
And then I know you hate when I quote it. That was one of my favorite lines when, when that guy was trying to, in JFK, and the guy was trying to say it was a mob hit, and he said, you know, the mobs don't hire assassins.
Oh, speaking of mob
Mobs.
movies, Nick, my buddy Nick, subscribe to the channel down below, Nick. And hey, we're talking about mafia movies. What's the best one? What's your favorite one? I'm going with Godfather 2.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is great.
All right, did you ever watch the last in the series, the Rocky movies, Rocky Balboa?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was the best one by
No,
far.
Rocky
I
1.
mean, that was
Rocky 1's the best one, man. Come on, man.
it was more realistic. I mean, you had the announcers. I mean, not Rocky One, but you had the announcers out there. You had the ringside. The fighting was more realistic because you had a real boxer in there. Because Rocky said it was easier to teach a boxer how to act than it was to teach an actor how to
Right.
box. And then the monologues of the fight scenes. And then I can remember when they started going through the monologues and you know, God, what was the black dude who was Apollo Creed's trainer and then was his trainer and because Rocky lost like the first two and then the third the guy comes over there and they start to go out and he goes, just keep adding those rounds and then Paulie comes over there and goes, you won that round, take him down.
Yeah. Apollo Creed was based on, I mean, that's Muhammad Ali. Supposed to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, the whole thing was because Muhammad Ali gave that guy who was a nobody a shot at a prize fight, and he knocked Muhammad Ali down, and the guy started cheering because he knocked him down. The guy who was training him said, "Well, he's getting up and he looks pissed."
Yeah, and Sylvester Stallone was in the audience.
Yeah, and he sued Sylvester Stallone because like the movie they made when Sylvester Stallone
Yeah,
fought
the
Hulk
jail
Hogan.
movie.
That guy,
Lock up.
yeah, that guy had fought. He fought Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Yep.
But I thought
You
that
know,
was the greatest. I
you
mean,
know
it
what
was
else
just
is a great movie? Heat.
Heat.
De
Never
Niro,
seen that one.
Pacino, bank rob.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when it advertised, but I never seen that
Oh
one.
my God, dude! What the fuck? Where are you from?
I just never got a chance to see it. And the one I missed out too, I wanted to see, and if somebody told me it was horrible, but Creed.
I seen it. It's dumb.
Yeah, I was afraid that maybe they did too much and didn't live up to its
Yeah, it's
expectations.
fucking stupid.
But Rocky had already tried that. When he was training Tommy Morrison,
Yeah,
and
I
then
like that one though.
see, I thought that was the worst one to me. The cheesiest one is when he went over there to fight the Russian
Dude, I can
and
watch all those Rockies. I love them.
oh, I can't tell you, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I can watch them. Oh, and remember the part I love it. It was late in the rounds, and they was having the flashbacks, and then they showed that picture of Rocky from like Rocky One, and Mickey was there, and goes, "Go!" He said, "Run over him, go through him,
Yeah, get him, Rock. Get him, Rock.
go to him, run over
Get
him."
him, Rock.
But I guess that was a clip from that movie, that first one, because I mean it flashed back, and he said, "Go to him, run over him."
Yeah, I love those Rocky movies, dude. And Bruce Lee movies. I can watch over and over again.
Well, I never really was into the Bruce Lee movies. I mean, I guess I can see where some people were.
Yeah. Well, people want to talk about Jet Li and all these other martial. Dude, Bruce Lee is the fucking best.
Um, there I go again,
You
losing
know what else
script.
is a
Never
great
mind.
movie? Pulp Fiction.
Oh man, that was one of the greatest ones ever.
Classic.
He turned around and shot the guy in the face.
Reservoir Dogs. Classic.
Brought him over there. And he goes, "What is this like, Dad? Black person?" He didn't say black person, but Dad, black person storage to you.
Yeah. Casino.
Remember that?
Casino's great.
Oh yeah, yeah. Remember because John Travolta turned around and asked him a question and shot him right in the face and killed
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Why the fuck do I gotta be Mr. Pink?
Yeah, what is this like? Yeah. Oh yeah, that was funny. But come on, Mike, you told me you love JFK.
What about it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, dude, that's up there. That's a great movie, man.
One thing I will tell you, the and because I went back and I read them. Because I've read just about. I could safely say I've read the entire transcripts of that trial with Clay Shaw. And the only thing that Garrison did not handle one witness, but Garrison gave the opening statements and the closing statements. And they were almost word for word with the movie.
Yeah. We gotta chill out with the JFK stuff, man.
I know, because we get too far into it again. And
But how about your favorite band all time?
uh, all-time favorite band. That's a toss-up with me, really. I've either got to go with um, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers or um, Leonard Skinner.
Great picks. I gotta go with the Who.
And I mean, I know you know the song "Sweet Home Alabama,"
Oh,
but down here, what we add to it is um, when they go "Sweet Home Alabama," then we all chime in "Roll Tide
oh,
Roll."
really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Skinner's awesome. Man. Zeppelin.
I hope Neil Young will remember a Southern man don't need him around anyhow.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Um,
Black Sabbath. Come on, man.
yeah. Um,
The Who is my favorite band.
he's all right. Yeah, I don't like Maroon 5.
No.
I think Adam Levine's a horrible singer. I don't know how he got to where he's at.
I
I just
mean,
don't
he
think
knows
how.
how to sing, but I'm not a fan of his voice.
His voice is too high, man.
Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of his voice.
Yeah, I mean that's all he has a good voice. I mean, like how does this? I don't.
It's the same thing with the band Rush. They're a great band, but that voice is just too high pitched.
But back to Tom Petty. I mean, Tom Petty had so many great songs. I
Oh,
mean, I Won't Back Down, An American Girl. I love that
oh,
song.
yeah. And you can't forget about Jimi Hendrix, of course.
You know what? Let me go back and touch on something you said a while ago. Scariest movies. And I had to really think because I'm not reading Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, dude, good fucking call. Good call.
I thought Silence of the Lambs was definitely the most scariest movie I've ever
Good
seen.
call. Fucking great
What,
movie.
what would your father do? Was she a coal miner? Did she stink of a lamb? And that pure West Virginia accent you've tried so hard to hide. But the follow-up movies I thought was horrible.
They're weird.
Yeah, they were real weird.
Yeah, it's sick when she's walking through the prison and the fucking dude in the jail cell just fucking throws cum at her.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and when you walk up there, the way Hannibal Lecter, you know, got the keys and then killed both the guards, cut the face off,
Yeah.
had that other guard up there.
It's classic shit. Have you ever seen Midnight Express? It's an 80s movie.
That movie. There was one movie I always wanted to see. It was a Hitchcock movie. It was called Strangers on the Train. You ever heard about that
No.
one? So there's two hitmen and they're on a train and they're just kind of sitting there together and they get talking. And one of them's supposed to kill one guy and one of them's supposed to kill another one. And then as the movie progresses, they end up changing and one guy goes and takes the hit out on somebody else and the other guy does the hit on the other guy.
Nice. Yeah, I when it comes to war movies, I can't pick one. It's a toss up between three: Full Metal Jacket, Platoon, and Apocalypse Now.
I don't know. I still got to go with Saving Private Ryan because I just think that was the closest thing to
All right, well, for
warfare.
Vietnam War movies,
Vietnam War maybe than Full Metal Jacket easily. And you know what was great is
easily.
easily to me, yeah. Arlie Ermy was hired to go in there and to teach whoever they was had hired to be the actor to be the drill sergeant. You know, Arlie Ermy was
Oh
a
yeah,
drill sergeant. So Ermy goes over and he's trying to teach him, and Stanley Kubrick said, "No, this guy's got to do it." And that whole scene where he comes in there and he's yelling at him about, I didn't know they stacked shit that high. There ain't nothing but steers and queers from Texas. That whole scene was ad-libbed.
yeah.
Every bit of it was. He didn't have one line. He
It's actually
ad-libbed every
filmed
bit
at
of
Paris
it.
Island too.
Yeah, but did you know that whole scene was
No, I
ad-libbed?
didn't.
Did not have one line.
Get the
They just went
fuck
him in
off
there.
my obstacle! Get the fuck off my obstacle, Gomer Pyle!
You know, that's what they called me in the army was Gomer Pyle because of my accent.
This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is my fight, and this is for fun.
Yeah, it was great.
And the movie has like two parts. Like there's the whole boot camp part, and then the Vietnam part. It's like the second half of the movie.
I guess that's what makes it good too, because it shows what they had to go through to get through boot camp, and then, and then the Vietnam part of the movie.
It's a great movie. Jesus.
Yeah. Hamburger Hill.
Oh, you ever see when? And hold on, in Full Metal Jacket when they're all sitting around in Paris Island, they say, "Who knows who Lee Harvey? Who knows who Lee Harvey Oswald is?" And
He shot from the book suppository.
yeah, the black dude Snowball goes, "He's the guy that shot from the book depository and killed the president, sir." And everyone laughs.
Yeah, he said the school book
Yeah.
suppository. Yeah, everybody laughed at it. Yeah, a
And
trade
then the drill
breed.
instructor's like, "Do you know why Lee Harvey Oswald was capable of doing that? Because he was a U.S. Marine."
And you know what the thing about the Marine Corps is? I don't know how much you know about military
Oh,
history,
I know
but
the Marines. My brother's a Marine.
but the Marines, um, uh, their songs, from the halls of
Yeah.
Montezuma, they were charged protecting the supply lines of the U.S. Army as they went into invading Mexico. Into the shores of Tripoli, there was a proxy war that we was fighting with Libya, and there was I can't remember what his name was. There was a Marine lieutenant and six Marine privates that landed on the shore, and they raised an Arab army to go take down the Libyan government. But the Marines really wasn't in major conflict until the First World War, and it was the Battle of Belleau Wood, and that's where they got the nickname. The Germans nicknamed them Devil Dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the ferociousness of the Marines fighters. Because there was one, I can't remember what his name was, but Marines were making a charge, and he turned around and said, Come on, you son of a bitches. Do you want to live forever?
Yeah, well, first one's in, last one's out.
It is now. I mean, you know, it is now. But I mean, the Marines' original job was just to protect
Yep.
ships.
I mean, everyone talks about the Navy SEALs, but the Marine Recon, they're just as bad. The
Right. Well, I mean, so are Air Force
Army
Commandos,
Rangers too.
Army Rangers, and then you got the Army Special Forces. But a lot of people don't know that there's SF in the Air Force, and those guys are pretty badass too.
Yeah, definitely.
I was around a lot of SF guys when I was in Afghanistan. Not around a whole bunch, but there were some pretty rough dudes, man. I remember one of the guys, something happened, we did something wrong, and one of our guys was with started arguing with one of them, and the guy started the SF guy, fully grown beard and civilian clothes, and this guy's disrespecting him, and he starts kind of biting his lip, and my other battle buddy goes, what you look at me like that for? He said, you look like you gonna do something. You gonna do something, do it. And I was like, dude, shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
for
Okay,
real.
shut up. So one of us with his hands right now.
Did you see a lot of action there, Chris?
Nah, not really, dude. Usually I was on forward operating bases, and you know, I wasn't at I I was in all this combat, but
Oh, hey, there's my
the
cousin Sarah. Sarah, subscribe to the channel down below.
yes, please, Sarah. We need all the subscribers we can get. We got it pinned. Please subscribe to that for us. But no, dude, about the worst that ever happened was like we'd be on a forward operating base and they'd fire mortars and rockets in and then take off. Um, the Now we was in this forward operating base one time and it had a 7 mile perimeter, and we had the 172nd Airborne Brigade out of Venice, Italy was there, and those guys would go out hunting at night. So they'd leave us all there. We had a 7 mile perimeter with a few cooks, medics, and us engineers, and there was a 7 mile perimeter, and I was like, if they attack us right now, this is going to be like the Alamo. How can 50 people protect the 7 mile perimeter?
Dude, I watched a documentary recently on the USS Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Man, two torpedoes slammed into their side from the Japs, and they were fucking in that water for a long time, man.
Yeah, they were.
Sharks.
Those were the guys who were like in the water and they was all like gathered around and sharks was coming and pulling some of them
Yeah,
down,
they
right?
they delivered the bomb. They delivered the bomb.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And not only were they in there with sharks, there was just a huge oil slick from the thing getting torpedoed, that they were in oiled slicked water, which was like fucking with their skin and shit.
Remember what Yamamoto said
Oh
after
yeah.
the
Yep.
attack on Pearl?
Yep. I think we
Said you
we
won a
woke a
great
sleeping
victory, Adam.
giant.
He said you won a great victory, but all we've done is awaken a sleeping giant.
Yep.
And I never figured out what their strategy was. I mean, because you attack Pearl Harbor and then it's like walking up to the biggest guy in the room, punching and walking off. And then I found out what their strategy was to destroy the Pacific Fleet, then try to draw the Pacific Fleet out into a major engagement and destroy the rest of the Pacific Fleet and force the United States to the negotiating table.
Did you read that?
Yeah,
Shit, I didn't
that's
know
because I
that
never
either.
made.
Shit.
Why did you just attack them and then just not follow it up?
Right, yeah.
They didn't invade Hawaii, but that's what their plan was to destroy the Pacific Fleet, get the remnants to meet them out in the ocean, have a pitched battle, destroy them, and then bring them to the battle table. And had Midway not been 2 minutes different, we would have lost the Battle of Midway.
I mean, that must have been terrifying, being at that.
That was the first naval warfare in history that the opposing fleets, they never came in contact with each other because it was all done by planes.
Yep. Dude, those kamikazes, man, fucking lunatics.
Well, people want to go back and Truman made a great comment. They wanted to, they're criticizing him for using the
Man,
bomb. Cost the United States. Hey, April, how are you? Hope you're enjoying the video or nightly podcast. Um, they are what was I saying?
Pearl Harbor.
Oh, est they estimated that it would have taken 1 million U.S. casualties because the Japanese were going to fight to the death. I mean, it would have been a 3 to 4 year battle to take. And they asked Truman years later, did he regret it? And he said, "Let them cry over Pearl Harbor."
Really?
Yeah. And I seen the battle plan for that. The battle plan for the invasion of Japan. We were going to use like chemical weapons on two of the South Islands to take them to use launching points. Because you got thinking Okinawa and Iwo Jima, those guys fought to the death.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
know.
there was no survivors were taken. And at night they did the bonsai charges. I'm as big a World War II buff as I'm probably a Civil War buff.
Yeah, when people think World War II, a lot of them just think the Germans, the Japs were bad motherfuckers, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, look what all the oh great, April. Hope you're enjoying. Yeah, the Japs were bad, man. I mean, look. I mean, the Japs had taken, um, the Philippines, most of China, most of South Asia, uh, the South Pacific. They were heading to invade Australia when we stopped them. And how we lost the Philippines was MacArthur had backed all of his forces down into a defensive position, and there was these mountains that he had on each side, and he thought they would protect their flanks. Well, the Japs just bypassed the frontal assault and got on top of the mountains, turned the U.S. flanks, got in behind them, and forced the U.S. to just abandon the island.
Unbelievable.
And the only reason we went back to the Philippines to take it back was because of MacArthur, because they was doing the island hopping then, and the Philippines was no longer a strategic position.
Yeah.
But MacArthur had made the promise, "I shall return,"
Um,
so they did it for him.
what was I gonna say? Fucking shit, I lost my track of thought. Oh yeah, yeah. What was the name? What was the head top dog of the Japs back then?
Admiral Yamamoto.
Yeah, do you know that
Or are you talking
when
about?
he spoke
Or are you
after
talking
the
about
bombs were
Tojo?
dropped, when he spoke for them to surrender?
No, no. Yamamoto had already been killed by that point. You're talking about General Tojo.
Yeah, well, whoever it was, they had never heard his voice before. They were just
Or are you talking about the Emperor?
whoever told everyone to surrender.
That was the
Oh,
Emperor, because the Japanese military said, "No, we're going to fight on. We're going to fight on," and the Emperor said, "No, we cannot. I will not stand by and watch any more bloodshed take place of my nation. We're going to surrender."
yeah, I've always been obsessed with like the Japanese culture. I mean, Sarah, my cousin Sarah's watching. She can attest to it. I used to be obsessed with ninjas.
I've always been obsessed with the Russian and the Soviets. Um, the Soviets, man, and they talk about, Putin and all this stuff. Well, Russia's always had a heavy-handed leader, a strong figure. That's the only thing these people understand.
Yeah, tough. A lot of tough people come from there too.
My friend made a joke one time about, how rough Russia is. Is like, could you imagine the Alabama of Russia?
Yeah,
Or the Mississippi of Russia?
yeah,
How rough those people are. If they say us Southerners are backwoods, and you imagine the Mississippi or the Arkansas of Russia.
yeah. No shit, huh?
But I would love to go to Moscow and see the architecture there, man. I think it's just fascinating.
Yeah, yeah, it is fascinating.
And I've always been, of course, everybody knows I'm far from it, but communism has always fascinated me. And, people say communism doesn't work. Well, what they forget is Marx.
Huh? Did you Everybody start typing when he comes back, start typing that he needs to get a new phone.
Marx never meant for communism to take
Yeah, I just
place.
requested people to start typing, Chris, get a new fucking phone.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how do you know it's not your phone?
Because I ain't the one going out.
Well, you don't know that. I've almost got this phone paid off, so no, I'm not going out to buy another $1,000 phone. But
Wait a minute, another $1,000 phone. You bought a
yeah.
thousand
So,
dollar phone?
well, every time one of them goes out, I always get the brand new one. And a couple of
What,
years ago,
Apple?
no, Samsung. $800, whichever. It's right at 1,000. But
Hey,
Mark,
Bob Kennedy joined the.
welcome, Bob. Hope you're enjoying that. But Marx meant for communism to take place in industrialized nations. He never meant for it to take place in agricultural nations. He meant for it to take place in Germany, England, or the United States. And let me point this out to you. Um, Somebody studied the Communist Manifesto. Everything that Marx said was going to happen is taking place. He said eventually the wealth would be concentrated in people's hands. The middle class would be gone. Then you would have the wealthy and you would have the proletariat, and that's when the workers would rise up.
Yeah,
Everything he said is taking place.
I'm sure you read what's it called? 1980, what is it, 1984?
1984, yeah.
Dude, great book.
Oh, awesome book. And Animal Farm.
I got both of them, yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Excellent books.
yeah. George Orwell was so far ahead of his time.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Me and Bob were actually talking about it the other night. It's a show that still holds up that was way ahead of its time. Twilight Zone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
God,
awesome.
man. That
Awesome.
show was great, man.
Yeah, it was. Okay, favorite sitcom of all time.
Wow.
I have two. Actually, yeah, I guess I have two.
You go first.
Uh, Andy Griffith Show and
Okay.
Seinfeld.
Okay.
And a close would be All in the Family.
Okay.
Let me tell you, there's one of the funniest shows on All in the Family that was so far ahead of its time, especially what's going on now with, the, illegal immigrants and stuff like that. So George Jefferson and Archie's in there, and somebody has a house for sale in the neighborhood. And
That's right, Bob.
yep, that's right, Bob. And so they've got a house for sale in the neighborhood. Well, Archie's trying to get a petition for everybody to sign saying it can only be sold to a white person. Well, the whole episode, him and George Jefferson's arguing, and George's like, that's racism, blah blah blah. Black people should have the right to argue there. And Archie's like, we got to keep it white in this right here. So at the end of the show, this Hispanic couple walks in and goes, "Hey, we seen there was a house for sale, and this would be a great neighborhood to live in." And George and Archie look at each other, and George Jefferson goes, "Let me sign that petition."
would you consider Sopranos a sitcom? No, right?
No, I wouldn't consider that a sitcom. I would consider that more like a
I'm gonna go with Married with Children.
yeah, that was a great one. That was definitely a funny show. I like the '70s show too.
Yeah, there's a
The
lot of
Seinfeld.
them.
Seinfeld was great though, man. I mean,
I've never been a
Seinfeld.
big Seinfeld fan.
Oh my God, dude, that show's hilarious.
I know. I mean, I'm a huge Larry David fan. I love Curb Your
You ever watch Curb
Enthusiasm.
Your Enthusiasm?
That's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. I lost my cigarettes. Curb Your Enthusiasm is so awesome. But if you like Curb Your Enthusiasm, how can you not like Seinfeld? It's the same show. It's just more risque.
I know. I know.
Um, but Larry David, dude, he is sick. I mean, that dude is sick in the mind.
Fuck, he's fucking funny.
I know he's funny, man, and he's so neurotic. I mean, he's sick. I mean, that guy's mentally
Oh man,
unstable.
I can nearly recite lines from Curb.
I remember one of the funniest things was is Larry had spilt something, and his mother-in-law goes, "Go get a towel," and he looked there and goes, "Why don't you go get a towel?"
Yeah, oh, dude. Oh,
Remember the episode
dude.
when his wife was on the plane and she thought the plane was going down, but the TiVo guy was there, so he said he'd have to call her
Oh
back.
yeah. Yeah. You remember this episode with Crazy Eyes Killer?
Oh man, Crazy Eye Killer was bad.
Oh.
And he shows up over at Larry's house, and he was giving it.
Scarface
But
was always on.
what about the one, when he had the family from New Orleans? I can't think of that black
Oh,
guy that was living.
Leon. Leon.
And Larry was having sex with that paraplegic, and did you break it off? Did you break it off in that ass? Did you break it
You,
off in that? And
you
Larry
break
was
that
here,
you break that ass off. You break that yeah.
or was that when he
Uh,
was talking about getting in a fight with that guy? Did you, or maybe that's what? No, I think it's when he's talking about. Did you break that ass off? Did you get in there? And then remember the him and he was engaged to the girl, and so the mother and everybody moved out, and um so Leon comes in there and he's having
Leon's
his Chinese
hilarious.
food. Oh, dude, that dude's one of the funniest guys I've ever seen in my life. And
Oh
Leon
my
sit up there,
God.
and Larry goes, "Well," he goes, "they're all moving out." And Larry goes, "So I guess that means you're gonna." And he takes a drink of his coke, goes, "I'm just gonna eat some of this fire ass Chinese food."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude. Oh my God.
Oh, I got something else, man. That this is hilarious. That, to go to the OJ thing, and we was talking about the other night. You know how dull this country would be without black culture. And I was listening to
Oh
Chris
hell
Rock,
yeah.
and Chris Rock. I don't know if you ever heard this, but he's talking about this. He goes, "Look," he said, "I just want to put it like this." He said, "So I ain't saying he killed her." He said, "But here this is." He said, uh, "OJ's got this ex-wife." He said, "She's living in his house. He's paying her $25,000 a month child support. She's driving around his cars, and somebody else is screwing her. I ain't saying he killed her, but I understand." I got to put a different perspective on it to me there, and I got to thinking
Yeah.
about it. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah. Chris Rock is great.
He goes, she's driving around in your cars, living in your house, eating your food. You're paying her $25,000 a month child support, and somebody else is screwing her. I ain't saying he killed her,
I
but
like
I
when Chris
understand."
Rock I like when Chris Rock goes, yeah, I know, with all the racism stuff's ending and all you white people, you're probably no one's really racist, but none of y'all will trade places with me, and I'm rich.
I like when he said this right here, and he was, and I ain't gonna say the words he's using, but he was talking about black people. He goes, I get so sick of black people blaming on the media. Y'all always blame it on the media. He goes, Ted Koppel ain't never stole shit from me, but
Yeah.
black people have. And he goes, um, and he goes, "That's top." Uses that
Who
word
said,
again. And
who
he
said
goes,
King of the Hill is hilarious?
I like King of the Hill. He goes, that come over, they say, "Hey man," that rob you, and they'll come over and say, "Hey man, I heard you got robbed last night."
Yeah. I'm trying to think of this one thing that Leon said in Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I can't think of it right now. I can't think of it.
I mean, Leon would have me weak, dude. I mean,
Bro, that dude is hilarious. Him and Larry David work so well off each other.
But the one who really set the stage for all them, if you go back and listen to his old comedy, was Red Fox.
Yeah.
I was listening to Red Fox one time. He goes, he goes, I hear all you white people say um, that we all look alike. He said, he said, he said, there's different colors. He said, we got mocha. He said, we got chocolate. He said, we got coffee. He said, we got light, bright, and damn near white. He said, but all y'all the same color. He said, when you die, you turn blue.
What the fuck? I'm still trying to think of it. One of the episodes in Curb when Larry brings Leon with him somewhere, and the dude that he meets, he's like, Larry, who the fuck is this? And he's like, this is my friend Leon. And Leon's like, yo, what up, my brother? It's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that dude was hilarious, man. I mean, that
He's
dude was
always telling he's always telling Larry like, "Yo, Larry, we out of ketchup. You're gonna need to go get some ketchup, man."
yeah, I remember that. But you know, it's funny when we talking about black comedians. And this girl, this black lady, I heard that I work with, she told me because you want to hear the funniest racist joke. She goes about blacks, or she goes get a black person to start talking about black people, or get a Jew to start talking about Jewish people. She said you will be sitting there for hours laughing.
Yeah, sure. Oh, I know the in Curb Your Enthusiasm when Larry David gives Leon's grandma a hug and he gets a boner. And she's like,
Yeah.
Larry David. And he's like, Leon's like, you got your dick hard?
Do you remember the episode where Larry was over at the party and there was that little girl or something, and they went in the bathroom or something, and Larry had something in his pockets, and she goes, "Mommy, mommy, the bald man's in the bathroom. He's got something hard in his pocket." And they was like, "What?"
Yeah,
And Larry was
yeah,
crawling out the window.
yeah. Oh my God. Oh, dude. Uh, that's just an excellent show. I mean, I don't even think there's a bad episode.
No, I don't think so either.
Every
I'm.
season was solid.
And you know what? There was one dude that happened to me one time that uh and I went home and I actually it happened to me, and then I went home and the episode came on. I lived right beside this Piggly Wiggly while I was walking home, and this person came out to talk to me, and I really didn't want to talk to him. I was like, "Hey Chris, how you doing?" Blah, blah, and I said, "Hey," and just kept walking. And then I got home and put it on, and it was the episode about the stop and chat. And Larry goes, "I didn't want to do a stop and chat. They want
Oh
to do a
yeah,
stop
yeah,
and
yeah.
chat."
Oh yeah. I love how Larry
He's
always
like,
has his own. He's got all these rules that he makes up on his own.
"He
Yeah,
makes these rules." And I was like, "Where do you come up with this at? The stop and chat?"
yeah, yeah.
But I hope viewers, when I was saying that about Chris Rock a while ago, when I was saying when he was making fun of black people, and I said, "Was you know, about this for?" Hope y'all don't think I was using that as any kind of racist comment. I just think it's funny when I hear other people of the same race talk about the other race is funny. Because one of the funniest things I ever heard was there was an Asian guy, and he said, "You know the difference between Asian women and Asian men is?" And there's like, "What?" He goes, "When you see a Asian woman, you think hot. You see an Asian man, you think technical support."
For sure. You know the comedian Artie Lang worked on the
Yeah.
Howard Stern. He's I love when he said he goes, dude, Michael Jordan's so amazing. He's like, if Michael Jordan was on the Titanic, it wouldn't have sunk. Like Michael would just be plugging up all the holes.
Yeah, yeah, I thought they brought back a episode, some Curb, and I didn't get to see it. Do you ever remember the episode
I've seen the new episodes.
do you remember the episode where him and Jason Alexander was going to make a show, you know, but then they got into it because Larry wouldn't come to his office, and he wanted him to come to his office.
The reunion.
Now, this one wasn't the reunion. This is when he was going to make a show. He started off, he's going to make one about just on based on George, and they couldn't get into
Oh,
it because Larry wouldn't go to his office.
yeah.
But Crazy Eye Killer was one of the funniest ones because
Oh,
Crazy Eye Killer had told Larry about him cheating on Wanda, and then his wife
oh,
told Wanda, and then he shows up over to his house, and then at the end, what's his name? His wife was standing in there, and a crazy eye killer guy goes, you're fine, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know who else is fucking Funkhauser?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Funkhauser was pretty. Funk. Remember when? Remember when he died and he had Larry's golf club in there, and Larry was trying to get the golf club out.
Yeah. Bing. How about the one? Bingo, bingo. When he plays bingo with all the old people.
What about the one when he had stole the cologne from his father after he died, and he was wearing it to the funeral, and his Funkhauser was smelling the cologne, and finally Larry throws a $50 bill on the
That's
on purpose.
canoe. That's canoe. I smell.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
How about the corpse sniffing dog?
Oh God. Do you remember the episode out there on um the golf course when Larry killed the black swan?
Oh, he beats the shit out of it.
Then they was trying to cover it up.
Oh my God, that
And that
show is
and that
great.
Jeff that Jeff Garland dude, he was hilarious too. Because remember
Oh
when
yeah.
remember
He
that
bangs
episode?
he bangs Funkhauser's retarded sister.
Yeah, he did that. And then remember when there was a spot on Larry's bed, and they said they had a little bit too much wine on Thanksgiving, so he went in there and masturbated on their bed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But remember the episode when um they was playing cards or something, and that guy, he's kind of a feminine guy, and he didn't go in, and Larry called him a cunt, and the guy got all upset, and and then they asked Larry to leave, and Larry goes, and Jeff Garland goes, the guy's gay, and Larry goes, well, I just thought he was one of these effeminate heterosexuals. And he goes, there's no such thing as a effeminate heterosexual. The guy's gay, man. The guy's gay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 I remember that one. I vaguely remember that one. That's hilarious about the swan on the golf course. I
Yeah,
forgot
that
all
was
about that.
because that swan comes out and Larry swings at
Oh my God. That's
they tried to cover it up. I mean, that show was just like,
oh, that's
oh,
classic.
remember when the aunt died and Larry got the obituary wrong and put loving cunt?
Oh.
And then
Ted
Larry,
Danson.
remember? Oh, Ted Danson was great too. Remember the episode though too when Larry was trying to get an ice cream and this woman kept getting these samples and Larry started making comments. He goes, "No," he goes, "You're
Oh,
allowed two samples.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
You can't
yeah,
have no
yeah.
more than two samples." He
Yeah.
has all these he has all these social rules that he puts out.
Oh, Ted Danson. You remember the episode where like you'd be like, "This is such a nice day out, just heaven, heaven." He kept saying everything's heaven Larry's like,
Yeah,
"Why is everything gonna be heaven?"
yeah, I remember that too. Because Larry says the show is about how he would really act, and I was like, "No, this is how you really act." And then I always thought it's funny. Wanda Sykes would always think he was a racist, and
Yeah, yeah.
he's been a racist because
Why? Because
like he
I'm
fired,
black.
and he remember he fired the TiVo guy, or he fired one of the
Yeah,
cable
yeah,
guys, and the
yeah,
guy didn't
yeah.
leave enough tips, so Larry put some more tip money down. So, oh, so you fixing the black man's tip?
Oh God, they hit like certain like things and like social norms that are like taboo,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. On the show, so remember the episode where they went out to the restaurant, and which I'd never heard of this, and I've been to some restaurants, but you had a tip for the waiter, and then a tip for the waiter captain. So
Yeah,
Larry goes, this is cutting into my 20% gratuity that I give to the waiter, that I give to the
yeah, yeah,
waiter. So he puts that down there and then put zero for the waiter captain. And then the waiter captain parked in behind him and goes, did you enjoy your table? I
yeah,
live off my tips and all this right here. And goes, well, Larry goes, can you find can you move your car? He goes, I think you're gonna need to find another means of transportation.
yeah, 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 yeah. How about when he almost hits the guy in the wheelchair, and the dude in the wheelchair is "fuck you, asshole," and then later on he catches the dude like walking. The dude was faking like he was in a wheelchair. You ever see
Yes,
that one?
yes.
Oh, when he
You
brings
remember
the
one
hooker, when he brings the hooker to the Dodgers game?
because so he could get in the carpool?
Hey, yeah.
What about when he took his when Larry went in there and he got the massage and the woman started giving him the happy ending and then he stopped and then the psychic told Cheryl he did 6 pumps.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Well,
then he took
he,
his
yeah,
father in there and got his father one and his father fell in love with her.
yeah, he has
Oh,
that.
wait a second. Here's the funniest one though. Larry was on vacation or something, and he comes back and goes, well, how's mom? He goes, well, about your mother, starts going on, and and then this happened, and then she died. He goes, she died? And she's dead?
Yeah,
He goes, yeah, he goes, and you didn't tell me. Well, her last words were not to bother Larry. He goes, you didn't tell me, and everybody comes in, oh, Larry, you missed such a great service.
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, oh, I just lost track again. Shit. Oh man, dude, I can't remember now. I can't remember it now. What was I gonna say? That's a great show. Just excellent
What
show.
up?
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. He buys that pair of pants, and like at the crotch area, there's like extra material, and he's like, "It looks like I have a boner all the time." And his wife's like, "No, it doesn't." And he goes to the movie theater and he sits next to some chick, and she looks across. She's like, "Oh my God, you have an erection? You fucking weirdo! We're at the movie theater."
Well, remember that guy? Remember that one episode too? I forgot what it was about. And I think the woman was making said something about the guy. This guy had a small penis, and Larry goes, "Well, maybe you just have a really large vagina."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then
It's
there's up there like there's on that ski lift, and that girl's like, "I can't be with she's serious.
oh
Let's get me up there." And Larry goes, "She goes, you're gonna have to jump down." He goes, "What are you crazy?"
yeah. That ski lift is hilarious.
Yeah, and she just jumps down.
Out of all the characters, Leon, uh,
Oh, him and Leon complimented each other so much, man.
Larry, we were out of ketchup. You're gonna have to go to the grocery store, man. Like he just lives for free.
We ought to catch up, Larry.
Well, I told you not to buy these chips. I don't like these chips.
Oh God! And then remember the episode where like they're showing Larry how to get the stains out of something? Put salt and soap water, and
Yeah,
then at the end
yeah,
of the show, that guy spilt something on Cheryl's shirt, so he's got
yeah.
soap, water, and salt, and he's rubbing all over her breast.
Club soda, and salt.
Oh, she's just rubbing all over her breast.
Or where they go to that party and they're all porn stars, and the
Oh yeah, and they had to
guy's like, I couldn't get my dick hard, and I had to have some
put
guy take Tabasco sauce and shove it right up my ass.
and she was so mad at him.
He's like, they always want him to take his shoes off at the party, and Larry's
Yeah,
like, I'm not taking my shoes off. No, they're like, you have to take your shoes off. He's like, I don't want to take my shoes off. My shoes are clean. Oh God, this is hilarious shit.
and then she went off on Larry about not taking his shoes off, and then Cheryl, he goes, "Oh, what a Ted, how bad at you?" She goes, "Well, it was a Ted, but now you got some sympathy points by the way she yelled at you." Remember the episode where I forgot what she took a laxative or something, and they got stuck in the car wash, and she had to take a shit, so she gets
Oh
out of the
yeah,
car
oh my
wash.
fucking God. And he's like, he doesn't even care. He's like sitting there going, my voice is deep this morning. Look how low I can go. Low, low, low. It's just the guy's hilarious.
And I don't know you don't watch the show, but George on Seinfeld was based off Larry David's character, and
Yeah,
I think the show. I mean, and Jason Alexander did a good job, but I think if they'd actually had Larry playing George, that show would have been so much better.
for sure. For sure.
And the way they got, there was an episode of Seinfeld when Jerry was going to get his own show, and they're sitting there talking, and he goes, "This house should be about nothing." Well, that was actually based, but all our shows was based on a lot of stuff because um, where they got the idea to make that show, they went to the grocery store one day and was shopping and then just come up with this idea, and they got the pilot, and then they got it for 13 episodes, and then Larry's freaking out. How am I going to write 13 episodes?
Yeah, yeah. You know the comedian Bobby Lee,
I don't think so.
the Asian guy. He plays the role in Curb Your Enthusiasm of the Asian food restaurant, and he's like, "Wow, that's a lovely dog," and the dog turns up missing,
I think I know that you're talking about.
and then they eat dog meat.
Um, have you ever? God, I was going to say something else about Larry David, but I forgot. Or no, comedian Ron White. You ever watch Ron White?
Absolutely.
Man, that thing, I got thrown out of a bar in New York City.
Hey, and that he lives like that. That ain't an act. He
Dude, I
lives.
met him. I met him one night. I was up
That's
there and
awesome.
I was working on a Friday night and he was doing a show and we closed at, 10:30. Well, he comes walking in at the restaurant at 1 o'clock in the morning and was goddamn drunk. He couldn't
Yeah.
stand up.
Oh yeah. He owns it. He says it. He
He
fucking
goes,
gets.
and there's one part, he does it a lot of times, but there's one part where he does it. He goes, "Well, they tried to make me pay for a chair that we broke. We broke it over my thigh." He goes, and we squared off in the parking lot, and I don't know how many of them it would take to whoop my ass, but I knew how many they were going to use.
Yeah.
That guy comes over poking me in the shoulder, going, "You're out of here, Scooter." And I was like, "I don't think so." And they hurled me out of that bar.
He's
We
he's
didn't.
definitely he's definitely the funniest out of all like those southern stand-ups.
Bob Ingvall's pretty funny too, man.
Yeah. Who's the other the cable guy?
Yeah, I don't think he's all that funny.
Uh-uh.
And Foxworthy's not that funny to me. He's all
No.
right. But I remember one of Bill Engvall's things. He was talking about somebody came over there to go out on a date with his daughter, and he goes, "I want you to look. This is my baby. I love her to death, and I want her to be taken care of. I want her home by this night, and I want you to remember one thing: if anything happens to my baby, I have no problem in going back to prison."
Yeah. Yeah. Ron White's great, man.
Yeah, I remember what he was talking about. He was on a plane. They was going somewhere, and they had engine failure. And the guy goes, hey man, if the other engine fails, how far the plane's going to take us?" And he goes, "All the way to the scene of the crash." Would be the paramedic there by half an hour. He said they came across and said that. He said I'd been drinking by noon. I started drinking at noon. I was like, hell, take it down. I don't care.
Yeah, and you know how I always say about you, how I say like the accent makes it 10 times funnier?
Yeah,
It's the same thing with Ron White.
yeah. When he goes, I told that guy. He said that guy here goes, "Take off the hat." And he goes, "What's the problem?" He goes, "I tell you what the problem is. Faggots around here wear hats. We're trying to keep them out of our clothes." He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, really?" The only way we can tell down in Texas is when they have the haircut like yours.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh
I
God.
tell you what I mentioned earlier tonight about people who didn't use their southern accent well enough is and it coming out sometimes. But if if he would have used his southern accent better, I mean, he should have never dropped it because Bush had some good
Daddy?
lines.
Daddy?
Yeah, no, George W. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
that, I remember he made this one line it was after he was giving a rally somewhere during that 2004 race, and he said, "Well, some people say I have a swagger. Well, down in Texas, we just call that walking."
Yeah. You know who's funny, man? The guy that in Eastbound and Down.
Jerry Lewis. I mean, Jerry Reed. Oh, you're talking
No.
about East. I was thinking of Smokey and the Bandit. I'm sorry. I've never watched Eastbound and Down. I've heard of it. Never watched
Yeah,
it.
but what's his name?
I don't know, man. I've never watched Eastbound and Down.
Oh, you got to, man. If you're a Southerner, you'd love that.
Yeah. I mean, that was
You've
just
seen the
one.
movie Tropic Thunder, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I
come
don't,
on, man.
dude. I really don't watch a lot of movies. I really don't.
Wait, Robert Downey Jr. plays the black guy, blackface.
Oh God.
Oh, you gotta see this shit, man.
Yeah, I bet that would have been. I bet that would have that would be
Oh,
something.
here's a question. Greatest comedy movies. Young Frankenstein's up there.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah. Oh. I so agree with that. Would you, this fucking kid's phone sucks.
Let's see. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
Um,
all of
The
those.
Hangover. The Hangover. I mean, when he's down there, he goes, he's like, "Wait, you think you? I think you got it backwards. You know, my load." He goes, "No, I shoot my load in you. You shoot your load in the floor." He's like, "You shoot your load into me,"
Yeah.
and he goes, "You just crying." Actually, it was.
Well, there it is, Russ. The Eiffel Tower. And he keeps when they go to England, he keeps running over that guy on the bicycle because they drive on the opposite.
Yes.
I
Um,
think Chevy Chase is one of the best.
yeah, I was surprised everything. You know, he just I saw some of his all of a sudden his career just kind of panned out and it was over.
Yeah, but dude, he nails the role in those movies. Oh,
Oh, by far. Remember when the grandmother died and they just pushed him off?
oh, God.
What about when he? What about when they stopped at the gas station or something and they had the dog tied to the car and he drove
Oh,
the dog?
oh my God.
And the cop pulls him over and goes, "Well, he kept up for about a mile."
Yeah. Dude, that is a fucking great couple movies right there. You ever notice how the son and the daughter always change in every movie?
Yeah,
It's always a different
yeah,
person.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Um,
Uh, those are classics, man.
um, trying to think of another one of my great comedy movies that
Caddyshack,
I've got to go with Caddyshack. Yeah.
Animal House.
Um, Animal House, Tommy Boy.
Yes, absolutely. Ace Ventura. Ace
Huh?
Ventura.
Oh my God, yes. The Cable Guy.
Oh, Jim Carrey's like really talented.
Oh yeah, by far. Um, um, yeah, uh, yeah. I loved it. I'm trying to think of another one that's on the tip of my tongue that just kept me laughing the whole time. Oh, Meet the
Oh
Fockers.
yeah. Oh my God, man.
Robert De Niro goes, "Oh my God, I just thought about it. Her name's gonna be Pamela Martha Focker."
Dude, that is classic stuff. Ben Stiller is hilarious. Something about Mary.
Yeah, well, you know, but that just shows you what a great De Niro was. I mean, he could play a comedian, and then he could turn around and play,
Yeah. He still does that.
the
He
serious
still
stuff.
does his cliche faces and stuff like.
Yeah, like in Goodfellas, when that guy started yelling at him, and the way he looked at him, he kind of, "You're nothing but a cigarette salesman." And De Niro was looking at him smoking that cigarette.
Yeah. You know how they got the body chopped up in the trunk? and they go over
Yeah.
they go over Nikki's house to eat with his mom, and his mom's like, "Look at
Yeah.
my new painting," and Nikki's like, "What? One dog goes one way, the other dog goes the other way," and this guy in the middle is saying, "What do you want from me?" And then De Niro's like, "It kind of looks like what's his name, the dude they got in the trunk."
And then they had to go and dig the body back up.
You're gonna dig the fucking hole.
Pesci was great in that movie when he came in there and
I
killed.
don't shine shoes no more, Tommy.
Yeah. And Pesci comes in there and goes, "Oh, you're gonna be late. You're gonna be late for your own funeral." Shoots him in the back of the head, and then puts three more in
Yeah.
him.
Um, Jimmy 2 times. I'm gonna go get the papers. Get the papers.
What do you say? When they killed that guy in the car, chop him up and get rid of the car. Or,
What, Henry? It makes you sick? How about an arm? How about a wing?
yeah, that was It doesn't get much better than that.
But I heard in real life, I mean, it is based on real life shit, but the guy that Ray Liotta plays, Henry Hill,
Yeah.
you ever see his inner?
Hmm.
He's been on Howard Stern and shit. He's like a fucking,
Well, didn't he die
yeah,
recently?
he's a goofball. He's a snitch.
Yes, he was. He was definitely a
I
snitch.
love the jail
Um,
scene. How they're all cooking.
yeah, I did.
It is just classic.
I mean, yeah, it was a classic movie.
The opening scene. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Yeah, a gangster runs wide open.
Fucking movie's incredible. Martin Scorsese.
But yeah, but one night, the mob, and I don't know if it's because that, because so many of them poverty levels, but but the mob never cared about black neighborhoods, never cared about controlling them.
No. Yeah, and
You know,
I mean,
they didn't mess with black.
it's gonna sound racist, but they just figured, let them kill each other, whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
That's how they looked at it.
'cause well, I mean, black on black crime is an epidemic in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like that stupid kid, that Dylan Roof, that racist that went there and killed those people in the church. When I was listening to his interrogation. He said, you got black people killing white people every day. No, you don't. You never hear of a black person killing a white
No.
person. I mean, rarely do you ever hear that. You rarely hear of a white person killing a black person. I mean, it's just,
It's always been that way. Boston's like that still. It's still like segregated.
well, even still here in Birmingham, I mean, for the most part it is. I mean, like I live on the south side of town and it's predominantly white, and then you've got the black side of town. Um, and unfortunately, there's a murder over there every night.
Yeah.
And what's so sad, man, it's something stupid. It's over like, a card game. It's
Yeah.
over, uh, it's just
Oh,
ridiculous.
Ali's got a great line. He's like, "I just won the Olympics. I come home to Louisville, Kentucky. I go into a nice restaurant and I order a burger, and the lady says to me, 'We don't serve Negroes.' So I said to her, 'I don't eat 'em either. Just give me a hot dog.'"
And and I heard this thing one time, and I'm not gonna use the word, but O.J. Simpson was in the '60s. He was in this restaurant, and um, he was sitting with some of his black friends. This white lady goes, "O.J., you ain't got to sit with the.
Yeah,
You can come over here and sit with the white people."
yeah. But OJ, I don't think OJ gave a fuck about his community.
Of course he didn't, man. You know, during the LA riots, on some of those, most of his businesses were destroyed. OJ didn't start playing the race
Till
card until it
after.
was, to the top. OJ was as white as anybody else. I mean, OJ, ran with white people, hung with white people. OJ didn't give a damn about his
No,
race.
no.
No, not at all. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Funniest things from a movie. Airplane.
Oh my God.
So Joey,
I've watched that
so
I
Joey,
watched it recently.
I watched just a clip of it. So Joey, you ever been in a cockpit before? Well, I've never been in a plane before. Joey, you ever seen a grown man naked?
Yeah.
And that lady goes, "Come on, Joey, let's get out of here." Nah, Joey can stay. So Joey, do you like to hang around
Yeah.
gymnasiums?
That movie is fucking oh
I mean, that line when he goes, "You ever seen a grown man naked?" That was probably
out of
one
the
of the funniest
blue.
things.
Out of the blue, like
You ever been in a cockpit before? He goes, "Nah, sir, I've never been on a plane before. You ever seen a grown man naked?"
now, Chris, how would a Southerner say it?
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Naked.
Naked.
Go down to the creek.
Yeah, crick. Like we was down there, I had some Yankees down there the other day, and they said, "We need some pecan pie." I said, "Ma'am, you're in the South. It's pecan.
Yeah, that's true. Pecan, yeah.
It ain't pecan. It's pecan."
And then oil and oil.
Yeah, yeah. And it's dog. It's not dog.
Yeah.
And it don't matter if you're drinking a Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb, a Pepsi. It's a Coke. I don't care what it is. It's a
Yeah.
Coke.
Yeah.
And
I think I love the way I use it.
you know what? We're never about to go do something. We're fixing to go do this.
Fixing, yeah, fixing.
We're fixing to go do this. You want to get something to eat? You want to?
Now
Now,
in
I like to,
Alabama where you're at, it's pretty deep south, right?
it's as deep as you get, brother.
Yeah.
It's as deep as you get.
Your accent, I mean, you definitely have a southern accent, but I've heard way deeper ones.
Yeah. Well, there's different dialects of the Southern accent.
Yeah. Yours is just like my
Yeah.
mom's.
Yeah. And there's a lot of different dialects. We have some that, and I really think that our accent, if you ever listen to it, I think it's derived a lot from the British accent because there are some
No.
similarities if you listen to them very.
That's the Boston accent. That's the closest to the British accent.
Well, I don't think ours is derived. So, there's different parts of the South too, and they have different dialects. Like, in Louisiana, that's
Yeah,
a whole different culture
it's an
there.
odd duck.
Yeah, that's a whole different culture.
What's up with that, you know?
Well, in Louisiana, you got to think it is such a, I mean, I guess melting pot because you've got whites and blacks and Native Americans and French and Spanish influence, and they all
Yeah.
combine to come up with this culture and this and this cuisine. And it's just so the term Creole. I mean, they're not black, they're not white, they're Native American. It's just a mixture of so many
I've
races
never been there. I would
involved.
love to go though.
Oh God, this is a whole different world. Like I lived in backwoods Louisiana for a while, and I was selling trailers down there. And this woman comes in and she wants to look at one of the trailers. Well, she's in a hurry. And I'm like, well, man, why are you in such a hurry? She goes, well, I got to get home and real quick. She goes, I just ran over a turtle and I got to get it in the freezer so I can make gumbo. And I was
Oh
like,
shit.
And then you've got Louisiana. I mean, you got New Orleans, the Big Easy, and then you've got it's like two different worlds. You've got New Orleans, and then you've got Louisiana.
Is it really that much different?
It's like two different worlds. The Big Easy and outside the Big Easy, it's like two different worlds, man.
You know, back home, like it was always like a big thing to make fun of Southerners, but because my mom's from down here, like I never was like that. I love it. I love the South.
Well, everybody thinks that all of us are uneducated, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we have no, we don't have no, we don't have shoes, we don't have teeth, we don't have indoor plumbing. And one of my
No,
college
it doesn't go that
professors just
far, but
a lot of
you got
people
the cliche like
college.
NASCAR, uh, mullets.
She said that she taught in Minnesota, and she said that when she moved to UAB to teach, she said the best piece of advice she got is she said the first time that you hear somebody with a really thick Southern accent, don't assume they're stupid.
Bro, a very intelligent, sophisticated Southern guy. I think they sound incredible.
Yes, if you and I've heard that say if you have a well-spoken Southerner, with that drawl and coming out with those folksy lines, I mean, it's
Yeah,
incredible. I
it
mean,
really is. I really do think that. I mean,
and
a lot of people say the Boston accent sounds ignorant, and but if you get
no, I don't think it sounds ignorant. I think it sounds more tough.
yeah, but then look at JFK. I mean, he had it.
Yeah, but I don't think he had it in its sense of like most Bostonian accents are.
I mean, mine's strong. I
Hmm.
just cover it up.
No, see, I don't ever cover mine up. But the few times I've been up north, I lay it on thicker. Like I start talking a lot more slower and how y'all folks doing today, and I'm sure I'm
I don't
glad to be.
cover it up because I'm embarrassed. I cover it up because I'm sick of people. Where are you from? New York? And as Bostonians, we hate New York.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I mean, trust me.
About, about the jokes down here in the South, but Alabama always says, "Thank God for Mississippi and Arkansas, because if it wasn't for us, we'd be dead last and everything." And you know why Georgia loves Alabama so much, don't you? Keeps them 200 miles away from Mississippi.
Shit.
And you know why birds fly upside down on Mississippi, don't you?
Oh, I've heard this before. Why?
Mississippi ain't worth taking a
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, here's my antidepressant medication, and they
Yeah.
say if you go like this, that's the mating call for West Virginia.
There's some backwoods people there now,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Saban's from West Virginia.
is he?
Yeah. Fairfax, I think Fairfax, West Virginia.
You ever see the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia?
Mm-mm.
Based on that family?
You know, you know how West Virginia became a state, don't you?
No.
Oh, it's very interesting. Well, everybody thinks that everybody in the South wanted to secede. Well, that's not true. The articles of concession in most states just barely passed because, only the aristocracies wanted to concede. 90% of your Southerners didn't own slaves, and they didn't want to get involved in this shit. Well, West Virginia was mountain people. They didn't have slaves. No slaves was there. So when Virginia seceded, the nine poorest counties of West Virginia, the mountain people, they broke off and formed their own state and joined the Union in 1863. We actually had a county here in Alabama that seceded from the Confederacy, and it was called the Free State of Winston.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
because
dude,
they didn't want to be involved.
you know a lot about the Civil War, huh?
And I mean, my goal is still to go back to college and teach it. I mean, I know so much about it. I mean, I was reading stuff today about the economics on it, about how, you know, we were selling cotton to the north, and they would make
Yeah.
textiles and then sell it back down here. But Britain was competing for it, and it was driving down prices for our cotton and for our textile. And that was one of the main reasons. A lot of people don't realize that the South had 20% of the population, but they was carrying 80% of the tax burden.
Yeah. Dude, if you're that much of a Civil War buff, you have to go to fucking Boston. Like that that that's one of the original spots, man.
Yeah, I mean, I got to.
And
I mean, I
they
got to.
preserved those spots in that city.
Yeah, this spring I'm going to go out to Shiloh. I've always wanted to see that.
Where?
Shiloh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I never really gotten not. I mean, I'm interested in the Civil War, but I never really got deep into it, and I should because I'm from Boston, and there's so many like places that they preserved like from the Civil War there. It's unbelievable.
I mean, it's just amazing that, we're not. There was this old man that I knew. He died a couple years ago. He was probably about 96 or 97. But we're not that far removed because his grandfather was a Confederate War veteran.
What do you mean we're not
And
that far
how,
removed?
well, all right, this guy who died a couple years ago, his name, we called him Mr. Paul. He was 96. All right, well, his grandfather fought for the Confederacy.
Yeah.
So you're only two or three
Oh,
generations
yeah, I
removed.
know.
It was really a interesting story about how his grandfather died. His grandfather had got shot with a mini ball in the hip, and it didn't exit.
Oh,
Well, he was up in his 70s and went out one night to get some firewood because they had it was cold. He went to get some firewood to keep the fire going. Well, the mini ball lodged itself out, and he ended up catching gangrene and dying from it.
oh, Jesus. What's that chick's name that went on that murder spree in Florida? A
Uh,
Aileen.
was she the guy that was killing all the men?
Yeah.
If that's the same one I'm talking about, one of my friends actually picked her up one night and gave her a ride.
No shit.
Yeah.
What, to pick her up to bang her? Or?
She was just like hitchhiking and needed a ride somewhere, and him and his buddy was in sales, and they was traveling through Florida, and said, "Well, okay, we'll drop you off." And then a couple months later, the stuff came out about and they was like, "Oh my God, that's her."
Well, she wouldn't have killed him anyway. She killed like you know, people trying to fucking pick up prostitutes,
Yeah.
which
Um,
it doesn't make it right, but she was obviously a psychopath. But
yeah, she was. Um,
I'll tell you one thing though, if
yeah.
I was one of those guys, that bitch ain't gonna kill me.
No, hell no.
Hell, I'll beat that bitch's ass.
Yeah, like I would a man.
He ain't getting me, boy.
Yeah. No, not at all. I had one guy kind of make it, and it was a joking threat, 'cause like I said, I'm a concealed carry, and he pulls his knife out and flicks at me, and pulls his knife out and says something like, "I got another one in my pocket," and I said, "Brother, what I carry in my pocket's a lot stronger than that knife you
No,
got."
that's like the Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife.
Yeah.
This is a knife.
Yep.
Those are great movies. Crocodile Dundee.
Yep. Yeah, crazy how he died.
How did he die?
He was like with a God, what was one of those fish that had I forgot what kind of name of the fish, a stingray. I think it
No,
stabbed him.
that's the other guy.
Oh, okay. Maybe I got him
Steve,
confused.
Steve, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. Um, you're right. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I know, but what?
yeah,
How ironic, you know?
you know, I raised up something funny the other night. I've never seen a president do this before, but Trump came to the national championship game,
Oh, did he?
and so Trump, yeah, and I've never seen a president do that before. And I thought maybe he was going to flip the coin or something, but you know, he's on this big national anthem thing, sing the national anthem. So Trump goes out there and he's surrounded by military, dressed blues, all these guys. So they start playing the national anthem. Trump's got his hand over his heart. He didn't know the words.
No.
You YouTube it, man. Trump did not know the words. He said maybe one or two words during, but Trump did not know the words to the national
What?
anthem.
They had him singing it?
He was not singing it, but when they sing the national anthem and everybody puts their hands over their heart, starts singing it, Trump's got his hand over his heart and they start singing it, and Trump's trying to sing it, and you'd see him say a word or two, but Trump didn't know the words to the national
Oh
anthem.
no, no, no. That's tough. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
But because it's him, it's like whatever. Like,
I had this guy attack me online today, and he was like, you know, said something about, asked me if I had anything against Latino people. And I said, I don't have anything against anybody. And he goes, well, how can you support a president who hates Latinos? And I said, he doesn't hate Latinos. He hates illegals. I said, they're illegal. They're illegal.
yeah,
And that's the problem. It's not the people who are legally. I said, it's illegal. And
yeah. I mean, I disagree with him there too. I don't hate illegals, but there's got to be a solution to that.
well, people have to understand, Trump's a lot of talk. Trump don't believe half the shit he
Yeah,
says.
and if you don't know that by now, he's always
I mean, I've
been
been
that
watching
way.
the
He's
guy
always been.
for 30 something years. I mean, Trump talks. Trump's just
He's
talking.
always been that way, man.
Always his whole
That's
life.
why when these people act so surprised now, it's like, dude, like
And I think he's hilarious. I mean, he's one of the funniest people I've ever seen.
he has a very weird sense of humor.
Yes, he has a very weird sense of humor, but he is absolutely a riot.
His hit, you know what I think makes it so funny is his ego is so big,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, he has the largest ego I've ever seen.
It's up there. It's up there.
Yeah, I mean,
But like I said,
hey, Trump.
you know, I don't support. I mean, obviously I support him, but I wouldn't if I didn't have to. But I don't hate the guy at all. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I hated him.
Well, my thing is, I'm telling people, I just can't see how you don't like him.
I like him.
I mean, I like everything about him, even his stupid hair.
Yeah, that thing got a mind of its own. That shit. I wonder how long it takes for him to prep that every day.
I don't know,
Because
man.
it is perfect.
I guess as perfect as it can be for something that's that goofy looking.
But he don't care. It's like
No, he don't care what he says.
and his whole like swagger, his whole demeanor is like
That's it to me, man. That's the swagger's what gets
oh
me.
yeah.
I mean, when I tell them, I say, look, and they say, why do you love somebody? I said, that's a man's man. That's a John Wayne type. That kind of bravado appeals to
And
me.
when the Mexican
I
guy
remember when
said,
Joe
when the
Biden,
Mexican guy said to me, "We're not paying for the wall," you know what I said? The wall just got
it
10
just got
feet.
10 feet higher. It just got 10 feet higher.
That's classic, man. You can't. It's,
I mean, yeah. And don't you worry about it, little Marco. And, one of the ones too, he was in this debate and he was talking to Rand Paul and Rand Paul, I guess that's something about his look, and Trump goes over, looks, points, and goes, "Hey, I've never commented on his look, and trust me, I've got a lot of substance to work with there."
yeah. Oh yeah. He can be. He's well. He's a New Yorker, so his insults can be like very. What he's good at it.
Oh, the greatest ones I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Well, he's a New Yorker, so
Lying Ted.
yeah.
Raise the Bible high, puts it down, and then he
Crooked
lies.
Hillary.
Crooked Hillary. Little Marco. Low energy
I.
Jeff.
Oh
And I love how they try to come back with him, and he just come. I mean, he's so quick witted, man. I mean, those one-liners just have you rolling.
yeah. Yeah. He's a New Yorker.
Yeah, they're their own people too,
Yeah.
man. Um,
Um.
yeah.
But I definitely want to take a second to thank people for subscribing. Um,
Yes, I do too. We're building slowly.
and
Um,
promise we will keep pumping out content for you guys. And if you have any ideas about what you guys want us to talk about, please, by all means.
oh yeah, send us because we love to talk, and we'll get right down in the briar patch.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. I mean, let Chris will tell you about these millennials. These goddamn millennials.
Damn millennials. It's goddamn millennials with their stupid technology and their entitlements.
I told Chris today. I said, Chris, you need to start working that accent because it's fucking hilarious.
Put your cards up,
Come on,
Donnie.
Donnie, and yeah, put your cards on the damn table. So who was flying the
Well, where
planes?
was
The
the
pilots? There were no planes. You know how many people?
Yeah, I
You know
wish
how many people it would take to load that building with explosives? That dog don't hunt.
that dog don't hunt. You got that crazy bullet zigzagging around nowhere.
You got
That
that
dog don't
goddamn
hunt.
magic bullet doing the goddamn jig in this motherfucker.
If you ask me, those Warren boys are picking that shit out of pepper.
Yeah. Shit. Oh man. It's funny when you start the videos. I always, when I rewatch them, you can always hear, "Hey everybody, just waiting on my friend Mike to come along."
Where are you, Mike?
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, I've been waiting for somebody else to come in with some comments because you ain't had any good one-liners here lately.
Well, there's my
'Cause
aunt.
sometimes those people just,
There's my aunt Hope. That's Bob.
yeah, because when sometimes they people throw stuff out to me, like you said, like, well, who flew the planes? The damn pilots. I
Hope, do you think Chris has a stronger accent than you guys do in North Carolina?
think it's a different dialect.
That's Bob's wife right there.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know
That's my mom's sister. That's my mom's
that.
sister.
Okay. Yeah, Bob looks like he'd have been a pretty rough dude in his day, man, working in prisons for all those years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And He's pretty serious with the music thing, man. I mean,
Yeah, me and him had a long conversation on the other
he's
night.
got some talent.
Yeah. I was trying to get him to sing for me. He said he had a little bit of a flu. He said do for me
Did
later.
you see his state of emergency post?
I may have, but
It's
can't remember.
hilarious.
I don't know if you see the bite I put with all the other day. It was something like liberal logic. Uh, had 2010 Nancy Pelosi. We have to pass the American Care Act because we don't know what's in it. And then 2017, we can't pass the tax bill because we don't know what's in it. Which one is it, Nancy?
Yeah. Do you like Bill Maher?
Oh God, he's hilarious.
It- His stand-up is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I love Bill Maher.
Ricky Gervais too. I like him.
Yeah.
Because the English accent makes it.
Did you ever? I don't know if you ever did this. You got to YouTube it sometime. Watch. You want to talk about one of the funniest guys ever? Is watch the best of Ronald Reagan. And they said Reagan wrote his own jokes. And they said Reagan was telling this story. He goes, in the Soviet Union, he said, if you're going to buy a car, he said, you go in, he said, you put your money down, and they tell you to come back in 10 years and you pick your car up. So this couple saves up. He said, they get their money, they go in there, they put their money down, they buy their car, and the man says, all right, come back in 10 years and pick your car up. So the guy replies, do I come back in the morning or the afternoon? And the guy goes, what's it matter? And the guy goes, well, what's it matter? And he goes, well, the plumber's coming in the morning.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. That's very clever.
And they asked Reagan one time, they said, Mr. President, he said, do you take any blame for what's going on in the economy right now? And he goes, yes, I do, because for many years I was a Democrat.
Oh yeah. Reagan. Who's the guy that took shots at him?
John Hinckley
That's right.
to impress Jodie Foster. Reagan almost died from that
I know.
because
Where'd it get it?
they.
Where'd it clip him?
So he starts firing, and the Secret Service grabs him and throws him in the car. A bullet deflected off the car and caught him in the lung. Well, Reagan Reagan thought that when they tackled him and put him in the car, that he was experiencing chest pain. He thought one of the Secret Service agencies broke his ribs. Well, they were headed back to the White House. Well, right as they was headed back to the White House, Reagan started coughing up blood, and then they just veered over into another lane and rushed him to the
So
hospital.
he took one bullet.
One bullet into the lung. And they operated on Reagan for almost 12 hours, and they couldn't find the bullet. Well, the doctors were running out of time because they said when you put a man up under that long, you know, if the thing was they could only have him up under 12 hours, or they was going to have to bring him back out and then go back in and search for it. But when you put a man up under that long, his chances of surviving putting him back under was going to lower. And they was running out of time, and they only had about 15 minutes left to find the bullet, and finally they found the bullet lodged in his lung.
That's unbelievable. How far was he shooting from?
I would say probably about, which surprised me they got somebody that close. I would say probably about 15 feet away.
Elevated position?
Yeah, like you standing up, me standing up. Reagan was walking out of a hotel, and you can YouTube and see it. Reagan was walking out of I think it was a hotel up there in D.C., and he was waving, and then you hear the gunshots start going off. And when Nancy came in there to check on
It
him,
was in New York?
no, it was in D.C. Because they originally headed back to the White House.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Reagan told Nancy Reagan, honey, I forgot to duck.
Shit. What'd they do to Hinckley?
Then when they went in there to was getting ready to operate on Reagan, Reagan said, well, I hope you are all Republicans. And they said, Mr. President, we're all Republicans today.
That's That's cool. What ended up happening to Hinckley?
He ended up getting put in an insane asylum, and the last I heard, um, I don't think he's been totally released, but he now has weekend visits, so he's released on the weekend to go home.
What year was that?
But that was in 1981. It was like in April of 81. Reagan hadn't been in office long, and Hinckley shot her because I forgot what movie it was he watched because Jodie Foster was 12 years old, so he watched this movie and to try to kill Reagan to impress her.
Um, what was it? One of Manson's followers, Squeaky Fromm, shot at what president was that?
Gerald Ford.
Yeah, Jesus.
Um, I think Ford got shot at twice.
I don't think Squeaky Fromm hit him though.
No, no, Ford was never hit because there was that female I forgot, and she had been brainwashed by somebody, and it was from the Stockholm. What was her name? It's right on the tip of my
Are we talking
tongue.
about Squeaky Fromm, Manson's girl?
No, this girl's name was something else, and she was brainwashed. Patty Hearst. Patty Hearst shot at
Isn't that Manson's
Ford.
follower?
She may have, could have been. I would have to just go back and look
It
at it.
might be.
But I thought
It might be Squeaky
she'd been.
Fromm. That's just her nickname.
Patty Hearst was from the Harris of the Hearst, newspaper thing,
Uh,
and she'd been kidnapped and had the Stockholm syndrome and shot at Ford. And um, we've had a lot of presidents that was shot at.
yeah.
FDR was shot at.
Yep.
Andrew Jackson was shot at.
Yep.
Andrew Jackson was a rough man.
The last one was Reagan, though, right? Yeah.
That was shot at.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be awfully hard to
Yeah.
get a shot off president today.
Yeah. No way.
I mean, thinking about how. I mean, I can just imagine with Trump walking on the field during the national championship game, how many snipers were located throughout
Oh,
that stadium.
I thought you were gonna say like how many snipers are there ready to kill him.
No, no, how many, Secret Service snipers were there? Because, he had the military, guards or military guys walking with him. And, um, hey, James, what's up, buddy? If you would, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Um, we're trying to get as many viewers as we can for our nightly podcast. But so he had just like four guys on each side of him, but there was no Secret Service protecting him. So I just wonder how many Secret Service snipers they had that was throughout Mercedes-Benz
Oh
Stadium.
God.
Because I was reading this thing about like, say today, if Trump went through Dealey Plaza and didn't want to wear a bubble top, how many snipers there would be waiting for a window to go up, and they would have orders to shoot to kill, immediately when that window went up. Um, Now I think it was Clinton, or it may have been. I think it was Clinton. Clinton was walking down the street one day in one of these little parades or something, and there was a kid that pulled out a water gun
Oh,
and was
what the kid
pointing.
get fucking slammed?
No, but they see the water gun come out, and the Secret Service agents are immediately on that, and guns were drawn, and the Secret Service agent was about to take the shot, and he realized it was a water gun,
Jesus.
and then I'm sure the kid did get slammed.
If you look at Kennedy's motorcade, like before they turned on to Houston and shit, they were like driving through the people, like
Yeah,
look,
and I hate to say it again, when we talk about the throat wound, I mean, I guess the most ridiculous thing I ever heard was
Hope, tell Chris to get a new phone when he comes back. Come on, Chris. I already sent it. Yeah, I already invited you, buddy. Hang on, I'm messing with it. Hang on. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to clear it. Sorry about this, guys. Just some technical difficulties. I'm working on them. I'm trying to invite somebody else like Bob or something just to see if that works. Because I don't want to end the video. There we go. There we go.
Okay. All right. So I really forgot what I was saying. Oh, you said there's dry. Oh yeah. What I was saying was one of the most ridiculous things I ever heard, and because you know me, I'm gonna blow a few things, is the umbrella man fired a dart.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my thing is where do you people come? Do you just make this shit up as you go?
Uh, but there's it's symbolism for something.
It was symbolism for I think it was some kind of insult, but it was symbolism for Joe Kennedy's
Yes. I don't know
Nazi.
specifically,
I
but
think it was for I think it was for his Nazi sympathizing, if I'm not mistaken. It was
yeah.
supposed to be seen as some kind of insult. But you know, the Umbrella Man, and you know, yeah, that was a sign for the shooters to start shooting. You know, I mean,
Oh, then they even turned it into that the umbrella had a gun on in it. Like
yeah. I mean, I think that honestly, the plausible thing, and again, I hate going back into anything, but Dr. Weck's assessment is, you know, it's easy to time it. You know, it could be at a prearranged spot. You know, you can be looking at a stopwatch. Because
he's right.
um,
It could be.
yeah, Dr. Weck was right. Now, you know, I thought that was just one of the greatest exchanges ever.
Well, ours
You
is
want me to explain for all the bullets, Mr. Bugliosi?
you smell a
You
rat
know
though,
there
don't you,
were other
Cyril?
fragments found in the car, Mr. Bugliosi.
You smell a rat though, don't you, Cyril?
But you kind of smell a rat here, don't you, Cyril?
But Cyril,
Now, Cyril,
If it was going in a downward angle, Cyril, it had to have hit something, Cyril.
well, you know there were other bullet fragments in the car, Mr. Bugliosi. You want me to explain for all the bullets? Nasty.
Well, I like when Bugliosi opens up. He goes, Cyril, now you're known as the darling of conspiracies, aren't you?
And Spence goes, please.
Well,
Yeah. Spence goes, please, please. You know, Your Honor, I object to this right here, please. Because he goes, I know you want him to go home happy.
yeah, yeah.
You know, uh, bring your other. So you're the only one who had what do you say, the courage to come in here and tell the truth. You bring your other doctors in.
Yeah.
And Spence goes, you know, I hate to be petty, but every time, you know, he gives the answer he doesn't like, he admonishes the witness. And I just think that's unfair. And the judge goes, I'm going to overrule that. I think Dr. Wex handles himself just fine. And um, uh, Spence goes, I do too.
Huh.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what these other buttons do.
Uh,
All right, I understand.
I started to rewatch the Ruth Payne tonight, and I kind of got bored with it. I was like, I don't want to watch that again.
Dude, I don't know if I asked you this before. Have you seen the movie Parkland?
No, you have asked me that, but I'm not saying it.
Oh, dude, yeah, check it. You said you have a smart TV,
Yeah,
so you have apps on it like
yeah,
dude, if I give you my code for like Netflix and Amazon movies, you can watch it.
yeah. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. When this ends, I'll type you my code. You gotta watch Parkland, bro. You'll really like that movie.
26 trained personnel saw with their own eyes the back of the president's head blasted out. And I, who was he? Who did he call? He goes, Doc, was it Dr. Fink? Dr. Fink, there was a large, possibly a fifth or a quarter of the president's head.
See, I always thought Fink was Bethesda.
I think Fink was Bethesda, but I just can't remember who. And Perry was Bethesda. I just can't remember which doctor.
No, Perry was
Uh,
Parkland, wasn't he?
no, because I thought I
Yeah,
remember during the.
Malcolm Perry is Parkland.
Was it Dr. Fink then? Okay, yeah, yeah. Was it Dr. Fink that they call? No,
Yeah,
I
Fink.
thought. Well, wait a second. There's got to be two Dr. Perrys then, because there was one on the House Select Committee on Assassins that Bugliosi brought in that Spence cross-examined because Spence, so goes. He said, "Oh, so I see you're smiling there." He goes, "Did you look for the brain?"
Yeah, that's Fink. That's Fink at Parkland. I mean, Bethesda.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Malcolm Perry was at Parkland because he was Malcolm Perry. And I'll have to go back through my research. Perry was the main doctor that was attending the president, I
Yes.
believe.
Malcolm Perry. There's plenty of interviews with him online, like very recent
Yeah,
ones. He's still alive.
yeah, yeah. So was I think Dr. Red Duke, who he was actually a they had like a doctor here in Birmingham that would do these shows, and Dr. Red Duke worked to save Governor Connolly, and he was here in Birmingham, was a doctor on one of the local TV shows.
What was he in Trauma Room too?
Ye- because I think they put Oswald in Trauma Room too,
Yeah,
the same one that because they was originally going to put Oswald in Trauma Room one,
yeah, but
and then I think it was
obviously,
I think it was Dr. Crenshaw that made the decision. No, we're not going to put him in there.
I mean, rightfully so. I think. I mean,
Yeah, out of respect. But they worked on Oswald for a very, very long time.
yep. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he have an operation?
Oh yeah, they operated on him trying to stop the bleeding. They opened Oswald up.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they worked on Oswald for over an hour.
Yeah. People fail to remember how much of a psycho his mom was.
Oh, she went out and she was doing everything she could. She was like signing her name, giving autographs, trying to make money off that.
Dude, she let
I
Lee
think
sleep in the bed with her till he was 13.
really, I didn't know that much about his childhood like that. You probably know a lot more than that. I don't
Yeah,
really have
and
an idea.
that stuff there gives you a good look into the man he became. Because regardless if he killed the president or not, he was an odd duck.
I want to go back, because we've had some rehash on this. Let's rehash one thing, and I don't really want to get into a debate about it. But you made the claim that Oswald was trying to get away, right?
Yes, yeah,
He didn't want to get caught,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right. And according to the official story, he just about wiped the weapon clean of fingerprints, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't he pick up the 3 shell casings that tied him to it?
What, and take them with them?
Yeah. If he
Because
took enough time
what if he
to
was
go
stopped?
store
What,
the
what
rifle,
if he was stopped?
what?
What if he was stopped leaving the building?
Well, he was stopped.
No, I mean stopped and searched.
Okay, all right. Then why not take the shell casings and chunk them behind some boxes? If you're going to take enough time to run and hide the rifle and wipe it down,
I think I think I don't think he even realized about the shell casings. He did not have this well planned out.
well, I don't think he did at all. I think the conspirators did.
I think just even though if the official version is true, which I believe it is, I still think that yeah, he took the gun there, but if he didn't have a good opportunity to take the shots, he wasn't gonna.
What do you think about Dean Andrews?
Yeah, you've asked me this. He's a tough
I
one
mean,
to.
he changed his story numerous times, but his first story, he actually made a very good description of Clay Shaw.
Uh, I mean, what do I think? What about him? Are you asking me that I think about?
Do you think that he got a call from somebody named Clay Bircher to go to Dallas Rep Oswald?
No,
So you think that there was a figment of his imagination?
that's a lie. He lied
Why would he lie?
because you know how big that conspiracy was at that time. By the time the Garrison case happened,
Yeah, but this happened. His name got brought up in the Warren Commission. His name was in the Warren Commission.
not about getting a call to represent.
He described him.
Huh? What?
He described Shaw.
Oh no, I'm talking about him getting a call from Clay Shaw to represent Oswald. That that didn't come out. He didn't come out with that right away.
I'll have to go back and double check that just to make sure I'm not mistaken on it.
No, he
Um,
definitely didn't come out with that right away. And had it been true, he would have came out with it right away.
well, I think no, it actually he did because he called somebody and said, I just got a phone call about going to Dallas to rep Oswald.
I don't know. Have you ever seen interviews with the real Dean Andrews?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't seem like a. He seems very disingenuous. Not
He's
just
a
about that
character.
case. He just doesn't seem like a trustworthy guy.
But his initial description of Clay Shaw matched Clay Shaw.
That's fine. I mean,
Well, I think Dean Andrews did know Clay Shaw.
that
And
which
I think Oswald did know Clay Shaw.
that's a possibility as well. But again,
I've told, I've told you what my opinion on it is. I think Oswald was actually homosexual, and he was
bisexual.
one of Shaw, and he was one of Shaw's boys.
I mean, in the Marine Corps, the other comrades were convinced he was gay.
Do you believe that? And I'm not saying this as a conspiracy, this. Do you believe that Clay Shaw used the alias Clay Burchard?
No.
All right, see, I do. And I'll tell you why. I don't believe he used
You
it in
did
any
tell
way.
me why, and you have a great point. You have a great point.
Yeah, because at that time, for a man to be a homosexual, I believe out of town, he used the alias Clay Bertrand.
Not
Um,
only that time being a homosexual, um,
it would have destroyed his. He had a tremendous career.
Yeah, he
I mean,
was
it was.
he was a prominent figure, man.
So I do believe that when he was out of town, because and Clay Shaw said this. Clay Shaw was 6'4", 250, barrel chested man, very distinguished looking. There's no, everybody in New Orleans knew him. He couldn't have walked around saying I'm Clay Bertrand and nobody would have knew who he was.
Right.
I mean, everybody knew who Clay Shaw
No,
was.
you're what you're saying is when he goes out of town.
What he would have told him, he would use it as
That
his alias.
that makes sense
Because
to me.
that was not uncommon for men at that time to use an alias.
Yeah.
So
I
I
got
don't. So I'm not saying any kind of conspiratorial. Hey, this was CIA agent using the name Bertrand. I think it was an alias he used to cover his identity.
yeah. See, I think it's beautiful how times have changed like that. Like a gay man would have to lie like that and shit back then. Fuck that.
Well, I mean, up until just a few years ago, and still, even if you go into some places, this gay man could be killed.
Oh, well, I personally don't see why people have a problem with it. The fuck does it have to do with you?
Well,
You know?
nothing at all. Um, but I just can't imagine the stress Clay Shaw had to go under being accused of murdering the president of the United
I
States.
feel terrible about what happened to him.
Um, you know, because regardless, if you're innocent, there's still always going to be people going, "Hey, that guy killed the president."
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, he had to pay for his attorneys and shit for so long, like that guy got fucked.
Almost,
He got fucked, man. No pun
yeah.
intended, but
And the things about and I believe Clay Shaw and Dave Ferry knew each other because it's not going to be uncommon, for two men to run across each other in a gay bar in New Orleans in the '60s.
do you think oh who did you just say Clay Shaw and who?
Dave Ferry.
Do you think David Ferry was gay?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got fired from Eastern Airlines for a homosexual experience. He got defrocked from the Catholic Church for being gay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Now,
right.
even Mark Lane,
That's actually a true
huh?
story. He wanted to be a priest.
Yeah, and even Mark Lane, who he was teaching at Cal Berkeley, and when this case went on, he resigned to go help. And um, Mark Lane talked about how I guess character assassination it was that scene, that gay scene, they orgy with you know them, and they was dressed up in like
Yeah.
women and gold and stuff. And he said, how bad that was, trying to attack his character right there and make him seem sinister because of that. And Mark Lane even said that, um, and he believed there was conspiracy. Mark Lane, when they asked him, he said, "Well, had I been on the jury with the evidence that was presented, I would have voted to acquit." And that says a lot to me.
It does. To me too. Mark Lane originally set forth on investigating the case because uh, he was a lawyer. He wanted to represent Oswald.
Yeah, Marguerite Oswald hired him,
Yep.
and I thought he did a great critique.
Yeah, because what people don't know is Mark Lane isn't one of the ones that he never had bizarre opinions, like all the craziness. He
And they actually asked Mark Lane about his book Rush to Judgment, about him saying, Oswald was innocent, and Mark Lane said nowhere in the book Rush to Judgment did I ever say Lee Harvey Oswald was innocent,
right.
and he didn't.
No, Mark Lane's thing was critiquing anomalies in the Warren Report.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep.
I mean, that was all Mark Lane was doing. And he never said he was innocent. Nowhere did he ever say in Rush to Judgment that he was innocent. Give me 2 seconds, Harry. My Coke ain't got no ice in it, and I gotta get it cold. We'll come back and talk about Mark Lane. Uh, I don't know if you can hear me. I love the book. I could not put the book down.
Do you have it?
Oh, yeah, I've got Rush to Judgment.
Shit,
I
man.
borrowed it from the library, took it back.
Um, dude, I got so many JFK books, both conspiracy ones and uh non-conspiracy. We should trade books for a little while so I can read that Mark Lane book.
Hold on just a second. You said we should do what now about Mark Lane?
I said you said you still own the book, right?
Well, yeah, I never took it back to the library, which I've got to one day.
Oh,
But yeah, I still got it.
never mind, never mind.
So, what did you say? I should read some excerpts from it?
No, I said I have so many JFK books, both conspiracy and non-conspiracy, that I would mail you one of your choice if you mail me Rush to Judgment.
Oh, well, I can get Rush to Judgment.
Yeah, dude,
I've got.
I'll let you use any of my Kennedy books. I have a. Oh, let me grab this one. Tell me if you ever heard of this one. It's a great conspiracy one.
I've got one called "Why He Was Marked for Death."
This JFK and the
I've,
Unspeakable.
I've got that.
Great one.
Have never got into reading it. I've got a book right now I'm currently reading about Stonewall Jackson. But that's my next one I'm going to read. But yeah, I've got that book.
Yeah. Um, I got Jesse Ventura's book on the Kennedy assassination.
You know, I've got a paper that's in pristine condition of the day after the Dallas Morning News.
You have the actual newspaper?
Actual newspaper, pristine condition, just like you would buy it today.
Oh, bro, that's fucking sweet.
Like it's never even been opened up.
Where'd you get that, bro?
When somehow, well, actually, I've got two, and one of them's kind of worn and tattered, but a friend found me. But the one's in pristine condition. I don't know why she never gave it to me because she knows that I loved it or how she had it. But after my mother died, she had it stored away, and I've got it put up. And but the one that is kind of tattered, I've actually read it from cover to cover. And one thing that I find interesting in it that first throws up, you know, conspiracy theory to me. You know, main headline: Kennedy shot, case is solved. Oswald did it before any formal investigation's done.
Yeah. Brandon, I invited you to come on with me, but because Chris got cut off and I couldn't get him back on, but I ended up getting him back on. I want to do a video with you though, bro. Brandon's my buddy from Boston.
Okay, nice to meet you, Brandon. Brandon, subscribe to our channel yet?
Yeah, Brandon, down the bottom B. If you look down the bottom B, I got it pinned. That's our YouTube channel. Subscribe.
Please, because we're building it up. We're getting close. We're getting close.
Hey B, it's George Foreman's birthday.
Big George.
Yeah, Bren's a big fight fan.
So, any other topics before we close out the night you want to discuss?
No. If we do close out, B, what tomorrow? What?
He
You'll,
just said he subscribed. Well, thanks for subscribing, brother.
oh,
I think he said tomorrow
he
he'll do a
said he
video
did.
with you.
He said he did subscribe. All right, cool.
Thanks. Um, so, any other topic before we close out our nightly podcast you want to
No,
discuss for?
no. Just want to wish Big George a happy birthday again.
Yeah, me too. So, I guess that closes out
What do you
tonight's
say?
segment.
What are you saying, Brendan? Brandon? Love the grills?
I've got one somewhere.
What, you want to go live with me if I close this video out, Brandon? You finally grow a backbone?
Oh, what's he gonna debate you about?
Not debate. I just want to talk fight shit with him.
Oh, okay.
You want to go live if I close this video out, Brandon?
Yeah, 'cause we're about done.
Oh, Foreman grill. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So, you want to close this one out, or anything else you want to touch on for a minute?
Do you got anything?
I don't know. I think we've hit on enough topics tonight.
All right, this is the end of the 5th episode, boys and girls.
Wonder how many subscribers we got now. We got to find out. Look it up and tell me. Are you gonna go ahead and post this tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
Well, all right, brother. Happy birthday to Big George, and I've got to work till about 11 tomorrow night, so that'll give you plenty of time to come up with a topic. We've got to come up with something good, man. Something we ain't talked about
well,
yet.
I think we did good
We've got.
today with the movies and shit.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought too. You talked about good movies, good.
No, Brendan, I know it. I know. I understand what you meant now. Um, yeah, I think tonight we did good, man.
Yeah,
Movies.
you know, um, movies. How it's funny how different people can tell. You know, like black people tell the funniest jokes about black people. Jews tell the funniest jokes about Jewish people. Southerners tell
Oh,
the
our
funniest jokes
Curb Your
about.
Enthusiasm conversation. Classic.
Please, I hope they thought I was making anything racist when I was saying that about Jews, or
Oh
because
no,
everybody who knows me,
don't worry about it, guys.
everybody knows me.
He's a
Yeah,
full-blown
everybody.
racist. He's a full-blown racist. It's all good.
No,
And by the way, Brandon's half
contrary,
black.
contrary to, no, I'm just saying that for the viewers. I hope,
Yeah, he
because
is a
how
viewer.
people
He is a viewer, and he's half black.
because contrary to popular belief, all Southerners are not racist. Um, but anyway, I guess we'll call it a night, brother.
Okay, so this is the MC Hour podcast tuning out, boys and girls.
All right,
Till next
sleep
time.
well. Tomorrow night.
All right, buddy.
Good night, brother.
Later.